292, and the S&P 500 up 73 at 7,209. Now let's check in with Paul for KTRS Sports and Traffic.
Steve, the Cardinals completed a 4-game sweep of the Pirates with a 10-5 win in Pittsburgh today. 5 Redbirds had multi-hit games as they banged out 14 hits. Jordan Walker and Alec Burleson each drove in 3 runs. And the Battlehawks on the road for the 3rd straight week with a trip to Louisville tonight. It also marks the first time this season St. Louis will be playing on just 3 days rest. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. There's a crash on 270 North at 64, blocking the right lane and causing only a slight slowdown. Estimated clearance time is 3:30. 64 West is crowded in front of Forest Park. The signals are on flash at 94 and Route D in Weldon Spring near Francis Howell High School. And the signal's also on flash at Page and Grand in North City. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with box lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our forecast calls for a 40% chance for rain tonight, an overnight low in the mid-40s, sunny tomorrow with an afternoon high near 64. At 3:07, partly cloudy, 67 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Hey guys, Josh here. We're taking the Heidi Glaus Show on the road with Heidi Rammer and yours truly this Friday to the Mexican Barrel House. It's just down the road from the station at Olive and Mason in the old Hula Hands location. At the Mexican Barrel House, they keep things simple, great Mexican food, a casual setting, and easy ways to enjoy it all. Come meet us for happy hour and enjoy a margarita or two. That's the Heidi Glaus Show live from the Mexican Barrel House this Friday. Online at themexicanbarrelhouse.com.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. It's that time of year. We are very busy. That means we're selling vehicles faster than I can acquire them. We are aggressively purchasing unique, interesting, and pristine vehicles. I love to buy Corvettes, Vipers, Porsches, and the like. We buy luxury and performance vehicles daily. Got one to sell? Call us or hop on our site. Owe money on it still? No problem. We'll make the payoff and cut you an equity check. I'll buy classics and motorcycles too. We'll even buy entire car collections. I'll come to you if it's easier. We make it quick and simple. Of course, I've got great ones to sell too. All hand-picked by me, thoroughly vetted and serviced. So if you're buying or selling, give us a call or visit our site today.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
I've been asked to say a word about Allen Roofing. That's not fair. I can't say it in a word. If they just did roofs, I probably could. I would say roofs. But they can do siding. They could replace it. They could put leaf guards on. They could reattach it like they had to do for me, where my gutter kind of came away from the house. Siding issues, they carry James Hardy, the very best. They can fix that too. Basically, if it's something you could see from the outside of your home or your office, they can fix it, improve it, or replace it. Look, it's probably the biggest investment you're ever going to make. Protect it. Absolutely. And nobody does it better than Allen Roofing. Check out all the reviews online. Everybody else seems to know. I shouldn't have to tell you these things. For all of your roofing needs and so much more, Allen Roofing. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Tune in Mondays to the Frank and Jill Show for Success St. Louis Style as they feature a St. Louisan making a difference in our community. Brought to you by the St. Louis Chess Club.
Building champions in the classroom and the community. Online at stlouischessclub.org.
Heidi, Happy Thursday, everybody. We are so close to the weekend, but we've got a lot to do today before we get there. Let me tell you what we have planned for you. Oh, by the way, it's Heidi, Josh, and Bob. Hope your Thursday's going well. Max Boise is going to join us, and today we're talking animal movies. I feel like there is never kind of a bottom of the bucket discussion when it comes to movies because there's always something to talk about. So today we'll be talking about animals. And
Talking animals.
Talking animals.
Talking animals.
If I could talk to the animals.
Is that like Sing?
Right? No, because that's a cartoon.
Okay.
It's like Babe.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Babe.
Well,
we'll see what other ones he has.
yeah. It'll be interesting, I think.
this
I mean,
won't be-
Lassie, of course.
No, she never
Lassie didn't
talked.
talk.
Well, she barked.
No, it doesn't count.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
We'll wait
I mean,
for Max.
How many times did Lassie lead someone to the
Oh,
well?
she's a hero, no doubt.
Okay, but without...
But she didn't talk.
Okay, Old Yeller, does that count?
No, he doesn't talk.
Okay, but it's still an animal movie.
He just dies.
Okay.
Oh, stop.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
No, Ma, I'll do it.
Oh, my
He's
gosh.
my dog.
I've never seen that movie. That's awful.
It
Why
is-
would
it
somebody
is
even
awful.
make that movie?
Right.
Doesn't
Right.
make sense. Anyway, it's what we'll talk about with Max. I mean, if that didn't hook you, what will?
Yeah.
We'll check in with Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge, FBI. He works with, of course, ABC News, and the suspect of the White House Correspondent Dinner is going to stay in custody. So we'll kind of get the latest on what is happening there. Did we ever find out why he was shirtless when he was finally taken down? Because, you know, we're seeing all these kind of selfies where he's in the hotel room. And
I think they sort of to see
stripped
what he
him.
had on him
I got it, and just kind of
because
took
of all
everything.
the weapons.
Yeah.
And I think every layer they took off, they found more stuff.
Well, I mean, that selfie, you see all kinds of knives,
Yeah.
and it's just mind-boggling. In the 4 o'clock, Big D will join us with your chance to win some of his money, and we're going to the 80s today. We've done the year I was born, the year Darren was born, Bob was born, and so now we're going back to celebrate Josh's birth
late,
year.
Great 1981.
Look, I have a lot of these 45s, and I'm excited about it. I had trouble choosing some of these songs, so I hope you enjoy it as much as I did.
Heidi, what was your first 45 ever?
You Light Up My Life.
Yes, by Debbie Boone.
Debbie Boone.
Did you know that answer? Is that why you bring it up?
It's so good, though. I just ordered, you're going to laugh at this one. I just ordered a vinyl, Greatest Hits of Jeannie C. Riley, you know, Harper Valley PTA.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got a lot of great hits. So I was
going to say, was it just the one?
No.
What whole album of that song?
And you know what? She has, a lot of them are storied songs, and it kind of brings back, is it Becky Thomas? No, there's one woman she talks about in Harper Valley PTA, and she's in at least another song.
Recurring character.
really?
Yeah, which I thought was interesting. I wonder if anybody else has ever done that.
That's cool.
You
They
know?
made a movie about that, right? Harper Valley PTA. Was there a movie?
I'm sure they did, but I can't recall anything about it. It might have been a TV movie.
What's the one where they threw something off the bridge?
That's
Harper. No, that's
Billy, the Ode of Billy.
Ode to Billy Joel.
Yeah.
They made a movie out of that. Right?
I don't think
Yes.
so. They did?
I can picture the actress.
I did not know
Not
that.
a big fan, and I don't think it's any good. I'm going to look up both for you.
Okay, please do. So, anyway, we digress. We'll talk to Cheryl Eicher-Jett. Aprons Away, women's work on Route 66. She is doing a book signing at the Missouri History Museum tomorrow, but first she's stopping by here to talk about what did women do along Route 66. I'm fascinated and want to hop on Route 66 and see everything that there is to see.
I'm sure you saw some of the things I saw on morning television. Both NBC and Fox had people in Springfield, Missouri,
Yes.
in the city square where they sort of, many people believe, is the home of Route 66.
And did you see the parade? I always still call it Southwest Missouri State.
Yeah.
I guess it's just Missouri State now.
Right.
The band played, and Al had a convertible he was driving with then Dylan and
yeah.
somebody. I mean, it looked like a lot of fun as far as that goes.
The town square there in Springfield. Here's another fun fact for you. the first documented and maybe the only real Old West face-to-face shootout where draw, boom.
Ooh.
It was Wild Bill Hickok and another guy in Springfield in that very town square.
Wow.
Really?
I've looked up stuff about the Old West, and they're, you think people walking around with guns and everything. No, it was mostly like it is today.
Most towns banned guns in the Old West.
All right. Yes, Springfield, Missouri. This is coming from Google.
Oh.
Springfield, Missouri is officially recognized as the birthplace of Route 66. April 30th, 1926, officials proposed the name for the new Chicago to L.A. highway via a telegram sent from the Colonial Hotel in Springfield.
There you go.
How cool is
And
that?
that's why.
Okay.
And Harper Valley PTA was a movie starring Barbara Eden, and then it became a television show.
It did.
And I don't think any of it was any good.
Well, I was going to say, were those characters that Jeannie C. Riley names, were they all characters in the movie?
It's got to be, right? Who's the gal that gets drunk? With her gin and ice?
I think that's Thompson, but I don't remember her first name right now.
Ode to Billy Joe?
Yes.
Ode to Billy Joe. Robbie Benson and Glennis O'Connor.
Yeah.
Was that one any good?
No.
Okay.
The
Robbie
songs
Benson.
were way better.
It's so interesting. Today we maybe have a musical that turns into a TV show or movie, or maybe the other way, but I haven't heard a lot about songs becoming
Let's
movies.
ask Max. Is there a best movie based off a song? Is that a thing?
It seems like this, but what would be
Are there
another
enough
one?
to go through?
Best movie.
Huh.
Loosely.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
King Creole. Elvis. Starring Elvis and I believe Carl Malden.
Oh.
Somebody will correct me on that. Right.
Okay, that's interesting. We got another topic for another Thursday now. In the 5 o'clock, I'm excited about this too. Our friend Greg Willard, KTRS legal analyst and professor of constitutional law at SLU, is going to join us to break down the Supreme Court decision yesterday and how it kind of struck down part of the Voting Rights Act. But what does this mean going forward?
Talking about the gerrymandering thing?
Yes. And what is the difference in gerrymandering and what happened yesterday? So he'll break all of that down. We'll also check in with Clara McMichael, who's the ABC News transportation reporter. Spirit Airlines could liquidate as soon as the next couple of days if they're not bailed out. And then where do we stand with the government buying it, which seems very, I don't know. If we have all this money, great, but I think we're still in debt. Right?
$31 trillion, I believe.
And then do you let major corporations just flounder and go away and don't worry about it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's an
Why'd
easy question.
you
No.
save them, but you didn't save us?
Yeah.
Right. That's absolutely right. And what is the benefit to Americans if they save and the government saves or bails out Spirit Airlines? Does the common person care?
They could say that, this will just ensures more competition and better pricing for customers. But just because Spirit goes away, I mean, there's still Southwest and
American
Allegiant
United and all these. Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
It's interesting.
We'll have that conversation. We've got some entertainment news, and then they'll wrap this show up with some random. Somebody on the text line said 9 to 5, but the movie came out first, and then they asked Dolly to write
the song.
So
Yeah.
it's not the movie based on
Mm-hmm.
the song.
I did a very cursory search, and there's not a lot of movies based on songs.
Yeah,
Like, what's that one that Mama Thelma Harper sang?
that was fancy.
No, it's not Fancy. Reba did do a cover of it. Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia.
But that's fancy.
That's not Fancy. Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia by
you're right,
Thelma
you're right.
Harper. What's her real name? Vicky something?
Vicky
something. How come they never made a
Vicky Lawrence.
Vicky Lawrence on Carol Burnett.
Yes.
How come they never made a movie out of that? Or maybe they did.
I think they did.
And we haven't seen it.
Huh.
Story songs.
The things we don't know could fill volumes.
Fancy could be a movie too.
That's what I was
but
thinking.
It would be R-rated.
Well, might be called Pretty Woman because it has a similar, right? Except it has a kind of
it's worse.
grungier
It's a worse
ending.
ending.
Yeah, there's no happy ending on
you
that.
know, I know there have been some movies based on the Frankie and Johnny song from the 1800s. In fact, an incident that happened in St. Louis on the riverfront.
Really?
Yeah, look up the lyrics real quick.
The shooting,
Frankie and Johnny were and they've made a couple.
I don't know if I'm familiar with that song.
Maybe it's just my rendition doesn't harken back to.
Okay, I'll look this up.
I gotta tell you,
it's an old song.
You guys, just to pull the curtain back, this was not planned to go down this road with these crazy
what a shock.
songs, but I kind of like where we're going with it as far as that goes.
So let us know on the text line. Isn't there an old timey song, Frankie and Johnny, and didn't it an incident based on an incident in St. Louis on the riverfront, and haven't there been movies made about it? I know one was an Elvis movie, but I think there have been some more.
Yeah.
Other movie versions.
Okay, and then here's I don't know a lot of Elvis history, but how many of his movies were based on one of his songs, or how many songs did he just write after he starred in a movie? Which way does that go?
First of all, to be fair, before people lose their minds, he didn't write any of his songs.
Well, good.
But I just wanted you not to get yelled at.
Yes, thank you so much.
I didn't want you
Perkins.
Some of them. Everybody. I mean, he didn't write any of them.
No. Was Jailhouse Rock a song and then a movie, or was it a movie and a song at the same time? Blue Bayou, Viva Las Vegas. This is the question Heidi's posing.
Yes. I think those songs, by and large, were written for the movie.
I would assume so, too, but that's assuming. Somebody said Beatles had the movie Help.
And Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Yellow Submarine came out well after the song came out, the movie.
Okay, so
the Beatles, 3 at least off the top of our heads.
You've got the Monkees, who were created for a show, right? Weren't they? Okay.
Yeah, TV show.
It's all very interesting. What are you finding?
Not much. Again, coming up short.
Well, then let's go to another debate, shall we? Leave it to the internet. And this is one of those things that kind of seems like, what? But people are debating which way to face in the shower. Now, I don't know about you guys. I tend to rotate. Do you stand facing like where the water is coming from, or do you turn your back to it?
Most of the shower, my back is to the nozzle.
Yeah.
However, you got to turn around. How are you going to rinse off?
That's
wash
right.
your face.
No, so this is a wild guess because I've never thought about it in these terms, but I'm going to say back to the nozzle, to the faucet, whatever you call it. I'm going to say 75% of the shower.
Yeah. I think I'm about right there with you. Basically, experts say there isn't one correct way, and I don't know who the experts are. Is that a dermatologist?
The people from Moen.
Well played. But they say you should move around because there can be problems if you face one way too much as far as that goes.
And see, with my bad back and neck and all that, I like to have those hot jets nailing it.
Yeah. They say your face is one of the most sensitive parts of the body, packed with nerve endings, and direct water hitting your face can feel overstimulating, especially if the pressure is high and the water is hot and you're stressed or fatigued. So that's why you don't want to face it the entire time.
Right. I agree with that.
I don't think aside from rinsing off my face after washing it, I'm not standing there getting a direct blast to the face with the shower.
I think people who would defend that would say, well, no, but you'd have it on your chest.
On my torso,
yeah.
Sure, but not direct to unless I had a really bad day.
And you want it to be cold.
Yeah.
Get rid of that headache.
Yeah. Boom, right to the face.
Facing away can feel more calming and controlled. Yeah. And it reduces sensory input and gives a sense of relaxation, which is why people instinctively turn their back when they want to unwind. I just thought it was kind of hot, and I feel like my back can handle hot water quicker.
I never thought about it, but feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
And you guys, let me get this straight, just for the record, you guys are boiling water people.
I wouldn't say boiling, but I like it pretty hot.
You want to be scalded.
I want it just short of scalding.
No, I
want to sting. I want to feel a little bite to it.
No, I think I'm taking
which is not good for you, they say.
Warm at best.
No, it's not. What, you like a cold shower?
Not cold.
Tepid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tepid.
I think there's nothing worse than a cold shower. Like when if the water heater's gone out and you have to take a shower and it's ice cold.
It's a nightmare, but have you ever done like a cold plunge?
No, I do not.
But I'm not going to do it either, Heidi.
But they say it's great.
That's the now. I guess we need to get a true shower expert.
The mowing people.
Get the mowing folks on. I think go hot for however length of time, and then jump cold for a real short period. Open up the pores, close them up. Mm-hmm. I think that's the deal.
I do think so too. My niece, who is playing soccer and is going to go play in college, she does a cold plunge all the time for her muscles.
Really?
They say it's supposed to be great.
How do they have equipment at her school for this, or is this something that she just gets the ice out at home?
Oh
in the
no, they
bath?
have like one of the. You can get those little plunge pools now, like even at
just put
Walmart.
it out on the back patio.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
In training rooms, I don't know if you see it as much anymore. They used to have the big hot cold tubs. They were just big stainless steel tubs with a little jet in there that would make the water froth.
Yeah.
And sometimes it'd be full of ice water, and sometimes it'd be hot water.
I think it's a Hulu commercial. Rob McElhenney from Always Sunny.
Oh yeah, they do that.
And and the other guy's like, "How come you got the hot tub and I'm in the cold plunge?"
Yeah. Speaking of him, there was a show on CBS Sunday Morning about Welcome to Wrexham and that whole thing. How did they end up in Wrexham and buying that? I mean, nobody's from there. It wasn't like.
Yeah, it's funny because I guess if I watch the whole show, which is 3 seasons long, it gets into it. The CBS Sunday Morning piece was maybe 5 minutes, and it glossed over
everything.
They didn't even talk to Ryan Reynolds.
No.
Glossed over everything.
And I was like, I don't understand. What was the first attraction
Right.
to this place? Did they do a movie here and they fell in love with it? Was it?
I think Rob got a line that they were struggling and said, "Hey, Ryan."
This would
and
be
they
fun.
didn't even talk about how they were even friends. I want to know how they even know each
Yeah.
other. Or does, Ryan Reynolds get a call out of the blue? "Hey, this is the guy from Always Sunny. Oh, I love that show. Do you want to buy a soccer team with me?"
Yeah, sure. How much?
Can you imagine if that's what you and your friends were doing? Somebody said the shower conversation has to be one of the stupidest and yet one of the funniest items you've ever discussed.
I would agree on both counts.
Yeah. Our friend Susan says Frankie and Johnny Ballad, based on the true story of Frankie Baker, who shot her lover, Alan Britt, in St. Louis, October 15th, 1899.
Oh.
Frankie was 22. Her 17-year-old lover.
Supposed to have happened in 1899. I'm glad they called, texted in. I just looked it up. My weak memory was sort of right. On 212 Targhee Street, Targee. Do we know that street?
I don't know where that is.
I think it was down on the riverfront.
Yeah.
Somewhere. And so then that year they made the Ballad of Frankie and Johnny.
Huh.
Now, the Frankie and Johnny, the second movie I was thinking of, has nothing to do with the song.
Was that Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yes. And Al Pacino.
Uh-huh.
But the Elvis one is a riverboat, and it's kind of based on the song. Riverboat movie.
All right, October 14th, 1899,
Yeah.
212 Targhee Street in St. Louis, the current site of Enterprise Center Hockey Arena.
Whoa.
Oh, off the riverfront, back a little ways.
Josephine Baker grew up there.
Yeah. Because wasn't that the Mill Creek?
Wait, Frankie Baker, is she related to Josephine Baker?
That's Mill Creek. I think that's kind of like the eastern edge of it.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Somebody else, Take This Job and Shove It was a movie in 1981.
Very good. Great call.
Yeah.
Well done.
Johnny Paycheck?
Johnny Paycheck.
Uh-huh. All right, you guys, we will stop with this nonsense.
Except I think it was written by David Allen Coe. All right, that's all I know.
True? Is that
really?
true?
And he just died yesterday. Right?
What?
Isn't that
You
who we
didn't know
just...
that?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
didn't know
I
that?
mean, he was an insane criminal, but
Yes.
man, he could write songs.
Yeah, died yesterday.
I'm depressed.
Well,
That's a bummer.
hopefully Captain Paul's traffic report will put you back into good spirits.
That's all it takes.
Heidi, we have two crashes that have popped up in the last 20 minutes. An accident on 44 West past Lindbergh is blocking the left lane and the two right lanes with traffic jam back to Big Bend. Estimated clearance time is 4:10. We have a crash on 70 West at Cary, blocking the two right lanes with a bumper-to-bumper back up to Adelaide. Estimated clearance time there is also 4:10. In Illinois, 64 East is congested from 255 to 157. The signals are on flash at 94 and Route D in Weldon Spring near Francis Howell High School, and the signals also on flash at Page and Grand in North City. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Spring is here, and so is that crazy St. Louis weather. Who are you going to trust to keep your home comfortable? Gilbert & Sons, the preferred Lennox dealer serving St. Louis since 1950. No hedge funds, no private equity firms, just a family-run St. Louis company that will do the job right from the very beginning. They've been in this space for 76 years, taking care of St. Louis homeowners. They'll service any make and any model and install a new Lennox system that will cool your home and save you money. Gilbert & Sons or GilbertSons.com. Let me tell you about family jeweler Lordo's Diamonds that has been a proud sponsor at KTRS for over 20 years. If you need jewelry, whether brand new diamonds, earrings, necklaces, bracelets, maybe something for the gentleman in your life, a nice new watch, or maybe something for the daughter or the son, Lordo's is where you want to go. Right there in Ladue on Clayton Road, a family jeweler, well-respected, well-trusted for generations here in St. Louis. Lordo's or LordosDiamonds.com.
Hey, JJ Weatherholt here. From the stands, people see the highlights. Home runs, stolen bases, diving catches. What they don't see is the preparation to be ready for the unexpected. That's how I look at my car too. Repairs can hit out of nowhere, and they're not cheap. With CarShield, you get the best defense against costly repairs. When something goes wrong, you're not scrambling. You've got a plan. A CarShield plan.
Don't get caught looking. Get a free quote today at carshield.com. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
How do you separate estate planning from elder law? You don't, because they're so intertwined. Let's face it, we're all getting older, and you need to make these decisions today, whether it's for your parents, for yourself, or for future generations. Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Caroline Stolzer have been navigating these important decisions for more than 50 years. Beck, Lennox, Stolzer, Estate Planning, and Elder Law. Call them, 636-946-7899 or BeckElderLaw.com. You can thank me later.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpets sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
Hi, everybody. McGraw-Millhaven here for Jacob Baths and Showers. They specialize in helping seniors age in place with a bath and shower design. They'll replace your current tub. They'll put in a walk-in shower. They'll add grab bars and seats and add a non-slick service, not to mention their composite materials that look like luxury stone and last a lifetime. The great thing about Jacob Baths and Showers, 1 to 2 days and you get your bathroom back. Find out more at jacobbaths.com.
For 60 years, one dealership has defined BMW in the St. Louis area. Auto House BMW. 3 generations of drivers, decades of performance, luxury, and trust. The legacy continues with exceptional offers at Auto House BMW. Experience the difference.
McGraw-Millhaven, Rose Dalton, and Carl the Intern. Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Right here on your hometown station, the Big 550 KTRS. Now, a message from KTRS President and General Manager Mark Dorsey.
If you look to the east of the Gateway Arch from St. Louis, you'll see a blinking light in the sky that translates a signal of KTRS, the Big 550, to radio listeners across America and beyond. From the cornfields of Belleville to Westport Plaza and across the region, KTRS has been a friend and companion to many for 30 years. As families gather around radios to share experiences, listening to the latest news, talk shows, and sports, we could be in the background or foreground, but we've got to know each other, and you became much a part of our lives as we do yours. KTRS has been with you during the good times and bad. You invited us into your homes, your cars, your trucks, your businesses, and on and on. This month, KTRS is celebrating a milestone of broadcasting to millions of listeners for 30 years. As we celebrate our 30th year, I want to thank you, our loyal listeners, our wonderful advertisers, and the many friends and partners who continue to support our mission. Live local radio and being locally owned and operated has been our mantra for 30 years. Of being the talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550, KTRS.
If I could talk to the animals, just imagine it, chatting with a chimp and chimpanzee. Imagine talking to a tiger, chatting with a cheetah. What a neat achievement it would be.
Well, I always enjoy Thursdays because tomorrow is Friday, and we get to talk movies with Max. How are
Heidi.
you?
Oh, Heidi, I'm doing fantastic. Your hair looks fantastic today.
You're so sweet.
Matches the glasses that you're wearing. It's
trying.
Great. I'm enjoying Bob's ascot that he's wearing.
Yeah, I'm going to go ascot.
Just going to try that out. And the camera missed it. I was dancing earlier to the...
Is that what that was?
Well, very good. I don't have Dr. Doolittle on my list, and we are here to talk about talking animal movies.
Talking animals.
And I did enjoy earlier in the broadcast when Heidi was having a really hard time with this. She's naming a bunch of animal movies,
but none of these animals talk.
No.
Okay,
no.
so tell me about some of these animals that do, Max.
Well, the reason why I wanted to do this is because there's a couple of movies coming out over the next couple of weeks that would tie into this. One is a somewhat ill-advised cartoon version of George Orwell's book Animal Farm, and that is an incredible book that I just read for the first time this year, and I read it at the urging of my son, who's 15, and read it for school, and would not stop talking about it, and I thought, well, I should do my due diligence and read this, and I'm really happy I did. But that movie is coming out, and that features talking animals on a farm.
Okay.
Pigs and horses and geese and what have you. And the other one is one that was based on a book that came out 10 or 15 years ago that was a huge bestseller, and now they've made it into a family film. It's called The Sheep Detectives.
Oh.
And this concept, I think, is so cute and kind of heartwarming. I don't know if you guys know about the genre known as cozy mysteries, but these are like the Agatha Christie's, where there's a murder and you have to solve the murder, but you don't see anything. It's nothing violent. It's more of like a puzzle box.
Mysteries.
It's called cozy mysteries.
Didn't know that was a thing, but I kind of like it.
This fits into that because the premise is there is a sheep herder who every night reads mystery novels to his flock, and then one day he is murdered, and the sheep decide amongst themselves to solve his murder.
Okay.
Which I kind of think is kind of cute, but it's a family film, so all the animals talk, and the shepherd is played by Hugh Jackman, which is kind of funny. He probably worked on it for a weekend, you know.
But like Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury was on for 12 seasons, 264 episodes.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of dead people. But
in one town.
In one town. But it was cozy.
Well, and that's why
you never really saw any.
No,
you know, what if she walked in and there's a murder and it's like really grisly?
You know, the internet has decided that Jessica Fletcher
is the murderer
in Cabot Cove. Because she was the title is Murder, She Wrote, and she needed fodder for her books. And so she moves to this small seaside town and starts knocking everybody off.
It's not a bad theory.
Great.
Yeah, that's
I love
theory.
that.
Roughly 286 murders took place across 264 episodes.
What a huge, unbelievable serial killer.
It's all in Cabot Cove.
Yeah.
It's one time. I mean, sometimes she would travel, but usually
she's the only one left.
And that's happened with pretty much any investigator. I mean, obviously you could say that, of course, murder investigators have murders happen all the time. But when you have a character like Miss Marple, the old spindress, or Hercule Poirot. I mean, he's a guy that murder followed him everywhere. But let's talk more about the talking animals.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one that I have is specifically the version from 2006, which starred Julia Roberts as the voice of a spider. And I'm talking about a cast that includes Robert Redford as a horse and Oprah Winfrey as a goose. It had some live action characters as well, including a little girl played by Dakota Fanning.
I forgot about Charlotte's Web.
Charlotte's Web. It is a wonderful version of the story. We all read this children's book when we were in school. I'm sure we did. It's a pretty sad book, but it's about a friendship between a pig and a spider and, of course, the family on this farm. And this was a really fantastic film. The filmmaker, the director of this, came in studio at the station that I was working at, and I interviewed him for this movie, and I was sad to hear that he passed away a couple of years ago, I believe from cancer. And I'm blanking on his name right now, maybe William something or other. But sure, if you've not seen the 2006 Charlotte's Web, it's really heartwarming.
Gary
Winnick. There you go. A really, really nice guy, too. The next one, I think Josh might have brought this up earlier, and it does tie in with maybe a Charlotte's Web kind of vibe. And this is a movie that I put off seeing for a long time. And I was talking to people who their favorite films are ultra violent, masculine, action movies. And they're like, but have you seen Babe? and I said, no, the talking pig movie? No, I haven't seen Babe. And I thought it was ridiculous until I watched it.
And loved it?
It's fantastic.
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
It is so charming.
Okay.
Doesn't it have the real tall actor?
Yes.
James Cromwell.
Yeah, he's terrific.
He was great in American Horror Story Asylum. He was terrifying in that. But the whole time I'm watching with my wife,
You're thinking the Babe guy.
Yeah, she's like, I can't believe he was at Babe.
That'll do, pig.
And then
that's good.
Then we had a sequel called Babe, Pig in the City, where he goes to New York. And I'm thinking, well, this one has to be awful, and it's not. It's also delightful.
Not?
It's delightful.
Really?
And I think it's kind of underrated because for whatever reason people didn't see it. It's a pig out of water story.
Your classic pig out of water.
I thought you were going to say pig out of fire.
Oh, well, there you go.
Grease.
A pig going to the market.
Now,
here we go again.
I tried to stay away from Disney animated films in this list. I've got 6 movies, and we're about 2 or 3.
Heidi brought up Sing.
Well, that would be Illumination. But I tried to stay away from Disney because almost all of their things have
a talking
animals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big thing for Disney. You could do Bambi, you could do Pinocchio. All for Jiminy Cricket, he's a cricket. But I decided to go with Alice in Wonderland, not specifically the Disney version, but any version of Alice, because once she goes to Wonderland, pretty much everything talks. You've got a dormouse, you've got a March hare, you've got even when she tries to play croquet. The mallets are flamingos, and the croquet balls are hedgehogs, and they all talk. Everyone's talking to her the whole time. And I think that's people remember the fantastical moments of Wonderland, but I think it's also a talking animal movie.
Okay, I like that.
Now, staying away from Disney, let's go with stop motion. Let's go with a movie from the Aardman Animation, who I knew from Wallace and Gromit and lots of different fun stuff like that. But their biggest success to this day is a movie called Chicken Run, which is basically a remake of The Great Escape, but involving chickens on a farm. And these chickens know, they kind of have a cursory knowledge that they're not in a great place because their comrades don't come back. And they think, we need to get out of here, but they don't know how. And then an American rooster lands in their English countryside, voiced by Mel Gibson. This is pre-cancellation Mel. And he's kind of a fraud. He says that he's this big, he's got all this great military service. He's sort of a fraud, but they don't know that, and they think, hey, with your flight tactics, we can get out of here. And it's a really fun family film called Chicken Run.
I remember that one.
I do too.
Enjoyed
Have you guys
it.
seen that?
Yeah.
Josh, did you see that?
I haven't seen it. I'm going to watch it with Finn.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do I have to explain that we eat chickens?
Well, I'm sure that he has chicken nuggets, right? They're
I
called
don't think
chicken
he, I
right
don't think
there
he
in the...
equates 1 to 1.
Well, he might.
Time to grow up, Finn.
We've got 2 left. This will be the most controversial.
Okay.
I always try to like to throw in one that you guys just roll your eyes and say I'm completely wrong. So tell me what you think about this one. How about the Muppets?
Yeah.
Now, you're going to say no because you're going to say, well, they're puppets. They're not talking animals, but...
Kermit's a frog.
Kermit is
what?
And Miss Piggy is...
A pig.
And
terry cloth towels.
No, she's always saying, hey, frog. She's always calling him. Or Ralph the dog was in a dog pound when they bust him out in the original one.
He's always howling.
Yeah, because he's a dog.
Fozzie's a bear. Gonzo's a
weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the Muppets is a talking animal movie.
Okay.
Because you have humans and they talk to the animals, not as if they're Muppets, but as if they are
the animal. Okay.
Rizzo the rat.
What about Scooter? What is he? What about Beaker and Bunsen?
I think those are human.
Those are people?
Humanoid, yeah.
Humanoid Muppet?
Yeah, humanoid Muppets.
We'll talk off the air.
Gonzo had a whole movie about where he's from. He's from
Is he from outer space?
That Muppets from space. He found his family and everything.
He really loves that chicken.
Well, let's not go down
I must
that road.
recuse myself.
You don't like it?
Because I hate the Muppets, period.
You
got to
hate
remember,
the Muppets.
I was already in college when they were basically invented.
You
Or
kind
when
of
they
sound
were-
like those 2 guys up in the
Yeah,
balcony.
Those are the 2 best guys.
Yeah, with Statler and Waldorf.
So on Saturday, I'm with Belushi. He hated the Muppets too.
They were not good on SNL.
No, and that was my real experience.
So when the Muppet Show came out in the late 70s, you were not
I was in
into it?
college, and
But college kids watched the Muppet
the
Show.
ones that
You
were
had-
high.
Yeah.
Well, because you had Alice Cooper and
Right.
Debbie Harry on that
they
show.
were all really high.
Steve Martin,
Frankly, Bob, we don't really care for you either.
Nixon. All right, and then finally, because I'm on a roll here, so let's have some more derision from the audience. How about from 1968? It spawned a franchise that is still going to this day. It was based on a book. We've had a bunch of sequels, some remakes, even an animated television spinoff. What about Planet of the Apes?
Oh, Heidi's favorite.
I'm out.
Ooh, this is
Talking
interesting because they're not.
animals.
They're really people in monkey suits.
No, but they're animals.
No.
Yeah, they're still apes.
Yes.
They're still frightening.
Because I love the movie, I will give it to you.
Guys, are
The humans didn't talk.
But aren't we? Are we not the animals in that movie, though?
Well, we're animals right now talking on the radio, too.
That's true.
This is a talking animal show.
This is a talking animal. We are not plants or minerals, so yes, we would have to be in that classification.
We'll
You're
allow
gonna
it.
Go with that?
We'll
so
allow it.
No on the Muppets and yes on
Yes,
Planet of the Apes. All right,
Apes.
fantastic.
Now, and what about Francis, the talking mule?
Before my time, Bob.
You know those movies still exist.
I know that they exist.
Okay.
Mr. Ed, they put peanut butter in his gums.
So there was, I think Kino Lorber released like a 7-movie volume of Francis, and one of my colleagues reviewed it for a website that we write for. And about 3 movies in, he was like, this is going to be tough to finish this.
I didn't
because
say they
just-
were any good.
Right.
I just said they exist.
Yeah.
And
It's kind
one
the
of
same
them,
gag over and over
in
again.
one of them, I believe it was one of Clint Eastwood's first credits.
I think you're right. And
Oh
I
my
think there was
gosh.
one where
Whoa.
they get the talking mule to play football, I think was one of them.
That
This
was
is like-
Gus.
Yeah.
He was a place kicker.
Somebody said Homeward Bound.
Yeah.
The Incredible Journey.
Yeah.
That's the
Michael J.
subtitle.
Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Sally Field was in that?
I don't remember.
That's what
her
somebody on
being in
the
that.
text line said.
wow.
So, and our friend Liz says the Muppets are real. Bob, you need to enlighten yourself.
Yeah.
You're missing some great humor.
Get a
I
grip.
am surprised.
I watched them every week on Saturday Night Live.
How long were they on SNL?
2 years, 3.
Maybe only first season, I thought.
You think?
Because the cast hated them.
I was gonna
and
say.
Henson didn't like it either because they weren't doing what he really
He wanted to do. That's right.
And a couple of times in the sketches, they would break down. They were trying to do it, and then everybody just, it didn't.
Yeah.
work.
It
Belushi in
doesn't.
particular was really vocal about it.
Funny about Sally Field, she has a Netflix adaptation of a book coming out soon called Remarkably Bright Creatures, which is about a woman who has a friendship with an octopus. So another talking animal movie.
There we go. What's coming up this weekend?
Coming up this weekend on the show, we have reviews of Normal with Bob Odenkirk and I Swear, which is a docudrama about a person living with Tourette's. And the interview this week is Mr. Tim Daly, who is best known for Wings. And also he voiced Superman and a bunch of animated projects, and he's married to Téa Leoni.
And his sister is Tyne.
Yes.
His
His older sister.
She was great in that Clint Eastwood movie, The Enforcer. Didn't Daly just recently do a independent film shot in Springfield, Missouri?
Possibly. I'll ask him about it. Yeah.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
Great.
All right. Max, this was fun. Thank you so
Heidi,
much.
thank you.
Look at that. It's already 10 minutes before 4. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, we have a big issue on the road. 70 West is closed at Cary due to an accident with a bumper-to-bumper back up to Branch. An accident on 44 West past Lindbergh is blocking the left lane and the 2 right lanes with traffic jammed back to Elm. Estimated clearance time there is 4:10. We have the usual slowdowns on 64 West in front of Forest Park and in Lake St. Louis. In Illinois, 64 East is congested from 255 to 157. The signals are on flash at 94 and Route D in Weldon Spring near Francis Howell High School. The signal's also on flash at Page and Grand in North City. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
You know, that honeydew list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. 1 great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honeydew list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
Hi, I'm Mayor Tim Lowry with the City of Florissant. Coming up May 1st through the 3rd is the Valley Flowers Festival, a beloved tradition in the City of Florissant. This year, in partnership with the City of Florissant, the Valley Flowers Committee, the Knights of Columbus, and several local non-for-profit organizations, we're excited to announce that all festival activities will continue to take place at the DeShane Home Association. This year's theme is Route 66, 100 Years of America's Main Street. For 100 years, Route 66 has been more than just a road. It's been a symbol of adventure, connection, and American spirit. Join us as we reminisce and celebrate the ways it has helped us connect. As always, we're excited for the Grand Parade and Queen Crowning on Sunday. We can't wait to see you and your family. We are Florissant Strong. For more information, go to www.florissantvalleyflowers.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, it looks like Co Allen, the White House correspondent suspect, will stay in custody. Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge FBI, joins us with more on that story. What's the reasoning here, Rich?
Well, so there's an ongoing issue with, what evidence the U.S. attorney has to prosecute the case. That's in most cases you'll have that, but in this case, because we still are waiting, I believe, for some of the CSI, the crime scene investigation, the shooting investigation to take place. There's a belief by one side that maybe the Cole Allen did not shoot the weapon or shoot it at anyone, whereas the U.S. attorney is saying that he did fire the weapon and he actually fired it in the directions of the agents. So we have that going on. But again, this is very early in the case, and you're not going to have all the information and all the evidence for quite a while until your investigation is done.
Yeah, and Rich, some of those indictments could go away and others could be strengthened because there are a number of those, right?
Correct. You're going to have these complaints, these informations that are filed, and they're filed the first day based upon what they know at the time. But we always say what you know on the first day is not what you know on the third day or the fifth day or so on. So you're going to see that information change. And as you said, some of it's going to go away, but some of it's going to get much stronger. And so that is what the investigation it will entail. They're going to look at, the who, what, where, when, how, why of what happened with the shooter, but they're also going to be doing a forensic investigation, a shooting investigation to find out what happened with the weapons during the incident itself.
So, Rich, this is an attempt on the president's life, not to mention all the other people in the building at the time. Does it really matter if he fired the weapon or not?
Well, it doesn't. It matters because it helps the case, I think. It makes it a better case, when you're presenting to a jury. But does it help it as far as the actual charges? I actually don't think so, except for one charge where, at least right now, they're saying it's an attempted where they fired a weapon at an agent. But the actual threat to the president, I think they're going to be able to prove through all of the other information that they have. The emails that he sent, the showing that he set this all up, weeks in advance, and then as he got closer, he did more and more things to show that he was actually going to attack the people in the room, at least, if not the president, such as the emails that went out the day that, right before he made the attack, and that they were scheduled to go out, like they were pre-scheduled. Also, the photo of himself in the mirror, with the weapons.
And he looks so calm. What does that tell you about him? I mean, taking a selfie with all of this ammunition strapped to him and then being so kind of confident and calm.
You used the word right there, confident. He is ready. He's confident. He's ready to go, and that's what I would take away from that, especially, that we know that this was taken before he actually made the attack and that he had those emails go out to the various, his, I believe possibly people he worked with, to his relatives, and then that he may have even cased the hotel. All that goes to that confidence that I am ready to go do this attack, and that's what I think. Excuse me. At least I take out of the picture from seeing it, in the news.
And for Rich, for the lay people out there like me, who sometimes get frustrated when we believe it's obvious what is going on, it always goes back to what you can prove, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, listen, we know stuff, so to speak, because we see it in the news, and it's what's put out by either the government or put out by the defense, and it's what we believe is going on. But when you go into court, you have to be able to show beyond reasonable doubt that this person did not only do one thing, but every single piece of that charge has to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. And if you don't get every piece of that charge, the charge goes away. That's a not guilty. So the prosecutors, listen, they have a very high wall to climb, in any case, but particularly this case, when there's so much out there on both sides of the issue.
Yeah, that's a great point. Rich Frankel, always great to get your opinion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment. A moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen. A moment to find your dream, or build one. A moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them, and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for Marvel Infinity Saga in concert. Relive the epic moments of 23 Marvel Cinematic Universe films on the big screen as the SLSO performs the iconic scores live. Follow Iron Man, Captain America, Thor and Earth's mightiest heroes, including Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Captain Marvel, as they face their greatest challenges. Even the Guardians of the Galaxy join the action with their legendary mixtape, May 1st through the 3rd at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org. Presentation licensed by Marvel.
Spring is here. Time to think of baseball, Easter, flowers blooming, fresh mowed grass. Think about making the trip to Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant part of your weekly plan. Whether an early breakfast, midday lunch, a homestyle dinner, or a late night bite to eat, Gingham's is your home away from home 24 hours a day. Spring into spring at Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0666 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. The war in Iran now hitting the 2-month mark, and Americans are seeing gas prices soar, the highest in 4 years. A gallon of regular is now averaging $4.35, and in California, topping $6 a gallon for drivers like Joel Middleton in Los Angeles due to the state's refinery costs.
I'm not spending anything else on anything. It's all going to gas.
President Trump insists those prices will drop, and Iran is clamoring to make a deal.
As soon as the war's over, it'll drop like a rock. There's so much of it. It's all over the place, sitting all over the oceans of the world.
But Iran's regime is threatening to hit back on U.S. aggression, and the new supreme leader in a message says Iran won't give up its nuclear ambitions. ABC's Tom Soufi-Burge has more on the continuing blockade.
The situation in the Strait of Hormuz remains. I mean, we are seeing a very small number of cargo vessels get through there. The Japanese said that one of their vessels got through yesterday. A Singapore-linked vessel, according to tracking data, also was allowed through by the Iranians and also by the U.S. through their blockades because it didn't breach the U.S. blockade.
The California man federal prosecutors say traveled to Washington, D.C. to carry out a mass attack on President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner was back in court today. A judge ordered he'd remain held in jail. ABC's Pierre Thomas says prosecutors detailed suspect Cole Allen's alleged plot.
Sources telling ABC News that after Allen checked in, he allegedly used his laptop to research President Trump's schedule and even went down to scope out the area around the ballroom.
After a historic visit this week, including an address to members of Congress and a state dinner at the White House, King Charles and Queen Camilla wrapped up their U.S. trip today. The royal couple made one last stop at the White House today, traveled to Virginia to pay respects at Arlington National Cemetery, and later took part in a community potluck gathering for America's 250th celebration. The royal couple is now heading to Bermuda. You're listening to ABC News.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Mrs. Weiland, why don't you go ahead and read the top line for me?
I should.
Next line.
Get my retirement. What's that?
Checked, Mrs. Weiland. Get your retirement checked.
Planning retirement on your own doesn't pass the eye test. Jerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost at Ricken Financial can help bring your retirement into focus. Call 314-207-6211. Ricken Financial, making sure your retirement vision is 2020.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
66 degrees at 4:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. If you live, work, or commute on Interstate 64 between Boyle and Compton in the city of St. Louis, you're encouraged to participate in a public meeting today to view and comment on construction plans for that area. The meeting will highlight details about plans to close a portion of eastbound 64 for a year late in 2027 to replace the bridge between Vanderveer and Compton. Today's meeting is just beginning and runs until 7 p.m. at 18 Rails in the City Foundry. Earlier this month, a member of Missouri's nonprofit Show Me Institute testified before a Missouri State Senate committee about an upcoming ballot issue. Elias Chapelis is the director of the Institute's State Budget and Fiscal Policy Committee on Economic and Workforce Development. Yesterday on The McGraw Show, he said Missouri's economy continues to underperform compared to the rest of the country, and that there are benefits to eliminating the individual income tax and expanding the sales tax.
And when you look across the country right now, states that are doing better in terms of economically, population growth, all those type of things, the states that have lower or no income tax are doing better than Missouri. Frankly, Missouri is in the bottom half of states on all of these metrics, and things are getting worse.
The issue will go before Missouri voters later this year. An investigation is underway after a large pile of undelivered mail was found in North St. Louis. It was discovered in a vacant lot near Maffitt and North Taylor Avenues. An Illinois legislator is speaking out about legislation that would ban PFSs, known as forever chemicals, from beauty products. These are synthetic chemicals widely used in skincare products. State Senator Matty Hunter says that for too long, the cosmetic industry has operated without the kind of oversight that's applied to food, medicine, and drinking water, and prolonged use has been linked to a number of serious health outcomes.
We're talking about an everyday issue with long-term effects. This measure will save people from cancers, from compromised immune systems, from contaminated water, and so much more.
Illinois House Bill 3409 would make it unlawful to manufacture or sell cosmetic products that contain any of the harmful chemicals named in the bill. The measure is now in the state Senate for consideration. And the Loop Trolley's 2026 season kicked off today. The trolley will operate on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. on Delmar Boulevard and de Bolivar Avenue, serving 10 station stops between the University City Library and the Missouri History Museum in Forest Park. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. The St. Louis area experienced some of the nation's highest growth in construction jobs last year. That's according to the Associated General Contractors of America. They report the region had a 6% increase in jobs. St. Louis tied with Austin, Texas for the second most jobs added, 4,700. And now the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk and Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. At close, the Dow up 790 points at 49,651. NASDAQ up 219 at 24,892, and the S&P 500 up 73 at 7,209. Now let's check in with Paul for KTRS Sports and Traffic.
Steve, the Cardinals completed a 4-game sweep of the Pirates with a 10-5 win in Pittsburgh today. 5 Redbirds had multi-hit games as they banged out 14 hits. Jordan Walker and Alec Burleson each drove in 3 runs. And Lindenwood football will travel to Springfield in Week 2 of the 2026 season and meet the Missouri State Bears. It will be a step up in class for the Lions, taking on an FBS opponent, as they did multiple times in 2025. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. At last report, 70 West was closed at Cary in North City due to an accident with a bumper-to-bumper backup to Branch. That's causing congestion on 70 East from Bercher to West Florissant. An accident on 44 West past Lindbergh has been cleared. 64 West is heavy from Kings Highway to McCausland, also from McKnight to Spady and in Lake St. Louis. There's some brief congestion on 55 South just south of Arsenal. And in Illinois, 64 East is congested from 255 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with box lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our forecast calls for mostly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. We have a 40% chance for rain tonight, an overnight low in the mid-40s, then sunny tomorrow with an afternoon high near 64. At 9 minutes past 4 o'clock, partly cloudy, 67 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Can I get serious for a moment? Something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is my front yard and taking care of your front yard. Because when you drive by someone's house and it's full of weeds, you think to yourself, oh man, it's very, very simple. You know how much I love to pretend to be a yard dork. You know what I use? Fertilome. I go to fertilome.com and I type in my zip code, and a whole host of local independent lawn and garden dealers show up. I buy the crabgrass preventer plus lawn food. It's the spring application. I get it down on my yard as soon as possible, and that greens up my yard and keeps the weeds away. So it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. But really, all I'm doing is getting Fertilome and putting it on my front yard. And that will take care of my yard for many, many, many weeks, and it go a long way to having the greenest yard in the block. So this spring, you want to green up your yard and get rid of the weeds? It all starts at Fertilome or fertilome.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Headlines for this Thursday afternoon, April 30th. Edison Brothers building downtown set for multi-million-dollar renovation. An $81 million renovation project is planned for the Edison Brothers building, which is one of the city's most cherished landmarks. The historic building, which is located at 400 South 14th Street, near 64 in the Enterprise Center, was formerly a warehouse for JCPenney and the Edison Brothers Shoe Company.
This is the one with the mural all over it.
Yes, that's exactly right. Most recently, the building has served as a mixed-use property with 72 condos and 270 hotel units. I've been in a couple of condos, and they're really cool.
Wow.
The latest major upgrade was more than 20 years ago. So yesterday, Midas Hospitality announced an $81 million renovation effort was underway for the building. Planned renovations include improvements to the hotel and public spaces, new street-level amenities, and restoration of the building's standout St. Louis mural. Current plans call for 284 fully updated hotel rooms, expanded meeting and event space on the building's top floor, and a rooftop outdoor deck serving both guests and event goers. The Edison Brothers building has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places since 1998.
Do we have an estimate of how many condos are there?
They have 72 condos.
72.
I don't know how many of them are filled, but it's pretty cool.
Notice how I keep getting more and more interested in city
I love
condos.
it. I'm going to tell you, I could cart to you from there.
You could. We could cart. We
Yes,
could be
we
cart
could.
buddies. This is one, you know how I am about the great outdoors and the dangers. Here I go again. A California surfer chased by, quote, relentless great white shark for 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
10 minutes. A friend filming the encounter, also out there surfing. Don't fall, don't stop. And the shark followed them for 10 minutes. Unbelievable. There's some video of it. And, you know, what could they do but keep going?
Yeah.
And they were out of, it's not like the surfboards that go to the shore, the ones that are out, they're out in the ocean. And finally, after 10 minutes, the great white, I guess, got bored or realized they weren't food.
I can't imagine my heart rate in that situation.
And these guys, I affectionately call them nuts. These guys stayed out and kept going for about 12 more miles.
I mean, is that brave or stupid?
Yes, that's the question. That is the question. And I guess I don't know if it's legend or fact. Josh, you're more of the oceanologist here. I just made that up. But surfboards are kind of shaped. Don't they think they're like seals when they're from below and you're looking up in that kind of shape, and that's why sharks are attracted to them? Yes, no?
I always thought that the wetsuit made you look like a seal.
When you're in the water,
Yeah.
but if you're up on the surfboard. But anyway, that is a harrowing experience, and they're saying in Southern California, this is going to be a big season for young adult great white males because of the El Nino.
Oh.
And that their migration is moving further north as well. So we'll see. I'm not going in the water.
I'm not either.
All right, the Missouri House has approved speed limit increases, and they sent it off to the governor's desk.
Okay.
It would increase the speed limit from 70 miles per hour to 75 on rural highways and interstates. What does that mean? I don't know. Does 70 count? I don't know.
Maybe out past Forestell, maybe.
Missouri joins Arkansas, Kansas, and Nebraska, which have made similar speed limit increases. They've also done away with the every 2-year safety inspection requirement for most passenger vehicles.
Huh.
Really?
So I don't know what this means as far. And by the way, every 2 years getting a safety inspection, kind of monotonous.
Yes, it is.
But a lot of people are saying this is.
Well, you know why they did that, right?
Why?
The safety thing. Everyone knows that old beater cars are going to have problems, and maybe even physical safety problems with brakes and tie rod ends and all the things. But if they just did it for old, inexpensive cars, it seemed unfair, like the government would be picking on low-income people, so they made it across the board. And that's how it all happened.
Yeah.
But if my car is, 4 years old, I think it's wholly unnecessary, especially if it's still under warranty.
But what people, and I'm not defending or not, or all, I'm just saying what happened. But you could see the argument.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
how many people, low-income people, can afford a car 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years old? So that's why they made it across the board. So it's interesting that they're rolling it back.
That is interesting. A rural interstate, according to what I just looked up, is a high-speed, usually 4 to 6 lane divided highway within the federal interstate system. So located outside urbanized areas of 50,000 people or more.
I mean, on the way to Mizzou, is it going to be 75?
I think so.
Once they get the road fixed in 5 years.
Oh, that S.
So-
that S curve in Wentzville.
Oh,
Woof.
And they fixed it. It used to be way worse.
And it'll be 75 for all drivers. Trucks, cars, motorhomes.
An engineer said traffic deaths will go up, but other people are claiming cars are safer these days. The technology in cars allow us to drive faster these days.
But the phones don't.
Yeah.
So you drive 44 like I do quite a bit. Is Rolla 50,000 people?
I would bet it's a little bit more than that.
So probably
Through
for
there.
a little bit on either side,
So it's-
not.
And kind of like, I would assume, but you guys can correct me here if I'm wrong, when you're going on 70 and you get to kind of Columbia's edges, it
definitely.
drops back to the 55 or
Yeah.
60, and then you get back up to 70 again when you get closer to like Boonville. So I guess that's what we'll see more of.
And then Lebanon, I wonder how big that is. But you can see
Yeah.
there's
going to be some spots.
Rolla, maybe Lebanon, Springfield,
Yeah.
and Joplin for sure.
And I wonder if they'll slow that down then to, 65
55
or
or-
if they'll continue for it to be slower.
And I know there's construction going on in Springfield now, but it is really heavy traffic from that Buc-ee's all the way through
Yeah.
the Springfield Metroplex. there.
I will tell you, the last couple of days coming into work has been crazy just because I guess they're trying to fill potholes. And you get up on it, and all of a sudden it's left lane closed, and then it's like both left lanes closed, and everybody's trying to get over. So that has been kind of a mess. I'll tell you what can always bring a little joy is I get the Cardinal Glennon, it's a little gratitude report. And it is so sweet to go through and read about some of the success stories. Like the things that maybe you don't even realize that they're doing at a children's hospital. They had Glennon Prom. And
that's neat.
healing takes more than medicine, basically. And back in April last year, Child Life Services brought a long-awaited dream to life by hosting the first ever Glennon Prom at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, which, I mean, you think about the things that kids miss while they're there, and this is what the staff, the nurses, the doctors, the child life specialists, they all work so hard to make sure that the kids don't miss out on any of those experiences. I mean, they also have done all kinds of 3D printing there where it's not just like maybe a heart that they're printing out, but like a 14-year-old patient with a tumor, the engineers created a combined model showing both the bone and the tumor, and the model then allowed, him to kind of see it and know exactly what's happening. And so, of course, a lot of these different things, this is like what happens when people come together and can donate, because a lot of the services, a lot of the things they do at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital wouldn't happen without donations from people like me and you. I think that there are other hospitals that do a great job of, running commercials saying that, they never turn a child away and no child pays. But that is actually the case at Cardinal Glennon as well. And if your child needs help, they're going to get it. You can learn more about all of this and read some of these stories that I'm telling you about at glennon.org.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. The one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemaristudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemaristudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
Are you ready for tax season? A new administration in Washington guarantees there are changes to the tax law coming. Don't let changes to the tax code catch you off guard. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours, and the soon-to-be-released book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. For 50 years, our team has helped hundreds of area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax laws. To learn more, give us a call at 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
You know, that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's the Big Thursday giveaway with Big D from HW Kia of West County on the Big 550 KTRS.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Oh yeah.
Big D is in the house, and it is time to give away some of his money. But before we do that, I was worried about you during those storms. Was that Tuesday? What day was that where the hail? Do you just panic?
Yeah, I used to, but not anymore.
Yeah.
You didn't have every employee
It's
out on
gotta
a car
happen.
spread eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, we used to put them inside, but there's only so much room now, so
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, well, what the heck? But yeah, I think I used to do that, but now it's kind of like, it's
Okay,
going to happen. It's going
will
to
you
happen.
put in some of the more expensive cars, or you don't even mess with
Yeah,
that?
I mean, they're all, the Tellurides are, yeah, we used to, but no, we don't. The showroom's got cars on it, and if you,
Start
we
moving
don't.
stuff
Yeah.
around, it's a headache.
Yeah, there's
Is-
not much you can do.
Is your insurance real easy to work with? Like, is it easier to work with you than
He
it
always
is,
goes there, doesn't he?
than it is for us to try to get
For
something?
angles for himself.
Yeah, I mean, we're covered. We have to have a policy to cover those things. So if it happens, they come out, they do an appraisal, and they say, we're going to give you so much a car, and then we can fix them or we can pass it on to the customer. So if they give you $1,000 a car, $2,000, you can either offer. See some places offer
A
big
special.
discounts.
Sale.
Yes, but most people don't want to buy a car that's pummeled in hail. I mean, that's not a good idea.
Have you ever seen when you go south, in particular the Southwest, a lot of dealers put up covered parking.
things. That's exactly
because
right.
Not
It's
so much for the hail,
often,
but
yes.
the sun.
Sun, it
Because it'll
happens.
fade everything.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I've seen that. And a lot of them do indoor warehouses now and stuff like that.
Oh.
But it's happened to us. I think I got hit by hail once or twice over the years, and it sucks because it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Getting the cars fixed, and then you still got to convince them that it's
Okay.
not damaged. Yeah, stuff like that.
Wow.
But it really, with the paintless dent, it doesn't hurt the car that much. I mean, it really comes out pretty
Yeah.
nice. So yeah.
Wow. Do you have somebody on staff that can get rid of dents, or you have to call somebody
No,
out?
because you can't afford them.
Really?
Well, those dent guys make a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of money.
I'm surprised you don't own a dent
A lot of
facility.
money.
There you go.
Here's
It's an art.
Josh
Yeah,
and
it really
Bob's
is.
dent repair.
Yeah.
Removal.
You'd be surprised. There's guys. I mean, a buddy of mine owns a place, and I think one year he made $750.
What?
Yeah. Now he had a couple guys under him and stuff like that, but they chase those hailstorms. But back in the day, in the 90s when it started, 85, 90, they used to come in and put a tarp over themselves so you couldn't watch them manipulate taking the dents out because it was a big secret back then.
And now everybody knows how to do it.
Well, they know how to do it. They know how they do it, but you still got to know how to manipulate that. It's just these little rods and real tools.
Sucks the metal back up, right?
Yeah, and they put it underneath, and it penetrates the dent, and they got to pop it that way.
Oh,
From the
interesting.
underside, yeah. It's like you're manipulating it out. And it's an art, but an average dent guy that works for he'll make $150,000, $200,000.
Ooh.
If they're hustling.
Just say, hey, don't leave me out. I might be able to do
It's a lot. They make a lot of money.
Wow.
They have, yeah. I mean, they just do. So it's yeah. So to have someone on staff all the time, you can't afford to pay them because you're not getting that many dents.
You just bring them in whenever you need
right,
them.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yep.
So what's going on with Rich's Famous Burgers?
Oh, nothing. We got the patio and Cuba open. We got
You
flowers
do?
and everything. It looks nice. Yeah.
Oh, I got to
So
check it out.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. But nothing new. It's just the same old, same old. I think.
Did you go down 55 looking at a place
we
or
did
no?
go down, but haven't found. We just went down one day. Didn't do a whole lot of we're just kind of. I don't know the area at all. It's weird when you don't know a place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think we're going down 55. I think we've committed to go to Rolla now. Believe
we
it or
were
not.
just talking about the population. Somebody said Rolla's population is 21,000. Is that about right?
I would think so. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking there was more there with the college.
And
I don't know how they.
I would never cast aspersions on Rolla. I don't know it well.
Yeah.
A couple of times I had trouble finding a good place to eat.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a lot of fast food, but there's not a lot of sit-down restaurants
Right.
to do what you want to do with.
There's one that has a billboard, and again, I only went there once or twice, and I was unimpressed.
Yeah.
And so, again, it could have just been bad luck on bad days.
They got a steak and shake there.
They do, yeah. Fast food,
Right
they've
at the
got good
hill.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. But I will tell you this. If you're not, what I've found out, if you're not right off the highway,
It doesn't make a
Every
difference,
might as
does
well
it?
doesn't matter.
Not exist.
Yeah.
It's just
Unless maybe you're some 5-star that
Yeah,
everybody's written
something like
about, and
that.
you're going to go
Yeah.
off the beaten path.
like what's Sybil's? Have you been to Sybil's?
No, but I want
You
to.
gotta
I hear
go.
it's great.
It's great. It's
Okay.
off the beaten path in
What is
St.
that?
James.
Is it- yeah, St.
Oh, St.
James.
St. James. It's a really, really nice restaurant. Nice family owns it. Been there a long time, but it's nice. Very nice, fancy
Yeah.
food. Yeah.
It's-
And you think how would it survive in St. James? but it does.
Yeah.
Because people from around there know it's a
look at
destination.
This thing.
Yeah, that's Sybil's? Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
It's worth it.
do you have a spot close to the interstate then in Rolla?
No, that's the problem. We had one of our real estate people that we just know, so he's going to start looking. He said, there's nothing right now that close. Yeah, and I don't want to be in town or even by the school. I want to be off the highway.
Yeah.
It just seems to really
You've
work.
learned already.
We learned, just being in Owensville, we learned the hard way there. We thought those cross roads would really help, but it's just not enough. It's like up in when we were in Belnor, the locals always say, we're going to support you. Well, they do support you.
But once a week isn't
But
enough.
it's not enough. You don't have enough people, so you need that highway traffic. So, but for Cuba, it's off the highway about what, Bob? 1.5 miles, 2 miles?
Is it that far? I'm a little
Probably
over
a mile and a half.
Probably a mile and a half. But for some reason, that little sucker cranks.
Yeah.
So that one, we just couldn't resist the building and all that.
I was going to say, I think it is the entire atmosphere of
it's
that
something.
one.
That one really
Yeah.
is cool and it works good. And Pacific works well when it's off the highway too, but it's not right off the highway. But Owensville's probably the toughest one because it's way out and it's out. It ain't. Yeah, it's just not off a major highway.
I go through Rolla all the time. I'm going to have to keep my eyes open.
because we're going to start. My brother was up today. We were talking, and we kind of committed that's probably a no-brainer for us.
Somebody said I have a student at Rolla. I can verify there aren't a lot of good sit-down options. We do enjoy stopping at Rich's on our way to and from,
nice.
dropping them off.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
great.
you go.
Yeah,
Somebody
so-
said Alex's Pizza is good.
Is it?
And I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff there, but like Bob said, there's not a lot of a lot
Sit
of
down and
fast
have a
food.
meal.
Yeah. I wish we could think of something to eat with a fork. We just don't have anything to eat with a fork. We just don't have the confidence yet
To make something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't go
I know
wrong
it's
with a good burger.
Yeah. I had for the first time not too long our Parmesan chicken sandwich.
And?
It's fantastic.
Really?
Have you ever had it?
No.
It's Parmesan chicken.
Yeah.
And the cheese is cheese curds on top. So
Oh,
you get the
good
cheese
Lord.
curds,
Cool.
and it's
And
on
crunch.
It's crunchy, and it's got the cheese garlic bread. So
doctor.
It's a doctor visit, but it's a
Doctor visit.
but it's good.
Is
it
it on
really
your
is.
diet, Darren?
No,
When
I ate half of one.
Yeah, when we first met Darren, he ate like a bird. I mean,
Well, he ate a lot
probably
of protein.
Yeah, I probably ate better.
Yeah, but you still
I went
look great.
downhill. Yeah.
He did not go downhill.
But so people don't misunderstand your breakfast knife and fork.
Oh, that's true.
Everything,
yeah, good point. Yeah.
a great breakfast.
For the money, for $10-12 you get a good breakfast
Yeah.
if you do the big platter
and all
thing.
of your Riches are now open for breakfast, lunch,
All of
and
them have,
dinner.
and I fought my brother months and years saying, dude, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Well, it's harder, it's this, it's that. It hasn't changed anything. When you get in your head sometimes,
Yep.
and he goes, you were right. For the first time I was right on something. Because I just think people love it in the afternoons.
Yeah.
What I would like to buy is Uncle Bill's on Manchester.
Somebody did just buy that.
That's on Kings Highway.
The city
Oh.
one.
The city one. But I went in there and gave them my card and said they want to sell this because they've got their hours down to almost nothing. And
Yeah.
we used to go there at night, me and my kids.
Oh, you go at midnight.
At midnight and just sit and eat. It was
Yeah.
fun. The food's, it is what
Yeah.
it is. You know what you're getting. You can't complain.
But as an entrepreneur, if they can't make a go of it, why could you?
Where?
Is he
Uncle
smarter?
Bill's?
At Uncle Bill's.
They are working now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're open, but
Yeah.
they don't do their late hours, I'm saying.
Or maybe they can't find employees.
Well, I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But I think there's such a need for. We were out one night recently. We couldn't find nothing to eat after 9 o'clock.
No,
It's
you
crazy.
can't.
Nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
It sucks.
Here's what Darren will do. When HW Kia closes for the
Yeah,
evening,
right.
everybody
Just
walks
walk
down to
down.
Uncle Bill's and
Yeah.
starts
Start
working
working.
again.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. But when we were in Belnor, my gals from Steelville would drive up to work. Now that's not smart, but you can't make longevity. But I think you could figure it out.
Yeah.
You need 2 or 3 people in the kitchen, and you could be a couple waitresses. People would love that again.
I mean, 8 o'clock used to be prime dinner time.
Yeah.
Now it's when they're sweeping up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I eat late. So for us, it's
You're very European.
a very it's a struggle. Yeah, let me show you my chest.
Yeah. a little bit down.
Yeah,
but,
a little
but,
hair, a
yeah.
little hair, yeah.
All right, we got to get a check of traffic, and then we'll be giving some of Big D's money away. So we got to get somebody on the line. 314-931-5877. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, we do have some good news. 70 West is open again at Cary in North City after being closed due to an accident in the 3 o'clock hour. The latest, though, is an accident on 64 West at Route N with the stop and go back up to Winghaven. 44 West is heavy from 270 to 141. 270 South crowded in both directions between 64 and Manchester. 64 West is heavy from Tower Grove to McCausland and in Lake St. Louis. 64 East bogs down briefly at 170. And in Illinois, 64 East is busy from 255 to 157. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
You know, that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. 1 great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerix, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Get your tickets today for the Stages St. Louis 2026 season. This season is shaping up to be one of the best. We kick things off with the hilarious 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Then we take a step back in time to the 40s with a timeless classic, Guys and Dolls. And we wrap up the season with one of my personal favorites, Come From Away. I can't recommend this one enough. Make sure to get your individual or group tickets today. Season tickets are still available. For more information, visit stagesSTLouis.org. That's stagesSTLouis.org.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. The one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
Hi, I'm Teresa Mess with the Fairmount on Clayton Assisted Living and Memory Care Community. We are proud to be a fan and a partner with KTRS, and we'd like to wish everyone at the Big 550 a happy 30th anniversary. Best wishes and continue to shine your light on St. Louis.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS.
And she'll tease you, she'll unease you, all the better just to please you. She's precocious, and she knows just what it
Don't you guys think Kim Carnes sounds like Rod Stewart?
I do,
A little bit.
Yeah.
I almost
Yeah.
picked this one. I
Yeah.
do have
I
this
love that
45.
song.
It's
Why
such a
do we
good
like
one.
it? Because we can't say she has a great
No.
singing voice, but she's a song stylist.
Yes. And what else does she have?
Yeah.
There's one other song.
It's kind of a
She had a
sexy,
couple hits.
Yeah.
provocative. I don't know. Something about it makes you.
Yeah, it's that raspy kind of Demi Moore voice.
Yeah, it's good.
We featured songs from the year I was born, when Big D was born, when Bob. So we're going to wrap up this theme with the year 1981, when we were graced with Josh Gilbert.
Yeah.
I mean, the world has never been the
81.
same since then.
I think interest rates were probably 25%, and there was something like that in the 80s,
See,
weren't
things
they?
have gotten much better.
Yes,
Since
that's
I've been
right.
here.
Who do we have on the line?
Julie.
Julie, what's going on?
Oh.
Okay.
Say that one more time.
I'm finishing up my workday.
Oh, good for
Julie.
you.
Thanks.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
What's
Well,
tomorrow, Heidi?
it's Friday. I just
Oh.
thought maybe she was having a 3-day weekend.
Okay.
Oh, please.
Wrapping. Where do you work?
I work remotely from home, but sometimes I travel.
That's nice. Very nice. Julie, Darren has a question for you.
Julie, where did you grow up at?
Webster.
Well,
Josh, tell me about Webster.
I don't know nothing about Webster.
So she's out?
Yeah.
Okay. She don't need the money. Webster Groves. She's in those big houses. Yeah.
I do. Webster Groves is a great
It's
community,
beautiful.
though.
Great town. I used to work there in Old Orchard for a number of years. Great town. Great town.
Yeah, it really is super
Are you
cool.
still there?
No, I'm out in West County, but when I grew up in Webster, it wasn't so bougie.
Oh.
Was it light
Pretty
North County?
middle
Wait a minute,
class.
Josh. Was it light North County?
No.
Did you come from a broken family?
Wait a
I'm
minute.
trying to compare her to me. Oh. Just so if you did, it might get you money. Yeah.
No, I
No?
think she's safe.
Okay, well.
Okay. Well, she can win some money if she knows these
She did.
songs. So we've got 3 songs for you, Julie.
Did you ever run away from home? I did that.
Oh.
Did you ever run away from home?
Julie?
No.
No, okay.
She loves her home.
Did your mom ever hit you with a 2x4? These are things that happen to me. So we can't get together. These are all real stories.
The Darren backstory is unbelievable.
Okay, so I'm trying to get connected to her, and I can't. Yeah.
That's what happened to
Yeah,
him.
that's right.
2x4. Any other questions
My
for
mom
Julie?
chased me around the yard, said, "You're never going to amount to nothing." And she had a 2x4, and my grandma was in the first saying, yelling, "Stop it, Peggy! He's a good boy."
And now she works for you.
That's right. Yeah, right.
I think Darren's still
Yeah,
working
that's-
for
yeah,
her.
right.
That's what I think. Okay, so Julie, we've got 3 songs. How much money a song, you think?
Well, Josh,
She
Bob,
missed out on the first thing.
She missed out a lot.
She missed
Josh.
out on the first thing. Give her
No,
a shot.
we missed out on a lot, Darren.
Well, we did miss out a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have free lunches at school? No, she didn't have that either. All right, $30 a song.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? 100?
Yeah. $100.
Okay,
$100
a
a song.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. All right, Julie, are you ready? These are all songs from 1981. Josh, I was going to let her name the song and
Either or, right?
Either or,
Yeah,
not
don't
just
screw this up, Josh.
not just one
Okay.
or the other.
No, it's hard to play these songs
No,
without
well,
playing the
it's-
title
you
of the
got it.
song.
It's
You
not
got it.
really hard at all.
Must have not prepped.
Julie, where were you in 1981?
High school.
Oh,
All right.
Did
This
you
is
graduate?
perfect.
This is common. What year did you graduate?
81.
85.
How about that?
Okay.
This should be right in your wheelhouse.
Uh-oh.
All right, here we go.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Rick Springfield.
Oh!
Look at Webster
Name
coming
that
out.
tune.
That is
Webster
good.
Groves.
Wow.
$100.
I
Okay.
can name that tune in 2
I was going to say that was good.
That was a great. That was name that too was awesome, wasn't it?
It
was
was
fun.
great. And
Yeah.
when you can name it with 2,
Yeah.
That's great.
yeah. I mean, that's a great song right
We
there.
didn't
isn't
get
it?
to listen
But,
to it.
No.
but you know what? What's Rick saying? Don't be such a creep.
That's-
Go find your own girl.
Well,
That's
that
really
is,
sick.
that is
it's
true.
really sick.
It is. All right, here's another one. Tell me about this one.
That's easy.
Oh, playing with the King of Hearts. Playing with the Queen of Hearts.
Queen of
Yeah, Juice Newton. How
I
about
had that album.
You
Me
did?
being a rocker, but that
Yeah.
was so catchy.
Well, I have the 45.
There
I
you
think
go.
I had the 45 of all
Yeah.
3 of these
Is that
songs.
right?
Yeah. All right, we got one more. You've got $200.
My
She's
gosh.
playing with the Queen of Hearts.
She's
just
getting them
a toe
too
tapper.
fast.
Yeah.
She's getting them fast.
That's good. I mean, she
know.
knows what she's doing.
All right, I'm going to start this one from the beginning. She seems pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, another easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good.
I love a rainy night.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I mean,
Bang, got it.
Julie,
Whoa.
this is your era.
Who sings it?
Oh. I can't remember.
Did this guy ever have anything else?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty hot for a while.
He was.
Eddie Rabbit.
Yeah.
Eddie Rabbit, yeah.
Hey, Eddie Rabbit. Oh, I was more of a rocker.
Well,
Yeah,
Julie,
me too, Julie.
you nailed it all. You've got $300. What are you going to do with that money?
Oh, golly. I just had a huge tree cut down. So
Oh,
There
gosh.
you go.
That'll cover a little bit of it.
Jeez,
Oh, very
$325.
good.
Yeah.
So it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Okay, so Julie, hang out on the line for a second. Josh will get back to you, okay?
Thank you.
Oh, my God. Great
It
song.
was good.
Well, I love a rainy night. Well, I love a rainy night.
Do you guys have any specials going on at HW Kia?
You know, kind of the same things. You know, the $15,000, $20,000 off these electric cars. We sold one today.
You
it was
did?
good, finally, yeah.
Which kind?
EV9.
Okay.
Yeah, the EV6 is
The
kind
big
of
one.
The big, yeah, the EV6 is kind of fallen off the radar for everybody.
Do you have a lot of those still on
I've
the...
got 4 or 5 of them, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you sell one a year, it's a lot.
My loaner the other day was a red EV6.
How was
It
it?
was?
Did you like
It was
it?
great.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
because they're sticking around,
Yeah.
deals to be made with Darren?
There's deals to be made, yeah.
Okay.
It's 10, 12, 15, 18, 20,000 off those cars.
And what,
What?
what does that mean
It's
you're
electric.
paying?
Well, if one is 60 grand,
Okay.
you know, you're paying 20,000 less, 15,000 less.
That's a big deal.
It
When I
is if
was-
you can do electric.
I was wondering last night on my drive home, looking at all the cars out there.
Yeah.
Why can't they just make a regular car that people drive
Yeah.
and make it electric and not charge 10 grand premium? Because you see a Honda Accord.
Yeah.
The electric one is $10,000 more than the regular one. Well, who's going to pay the premium?
Why do you think that?
Because that's just what I've seen
Really?
sticker-wise when I look at some of these things.
I mean, the EV9's 70,000, but there's nothing else like it as far as
Yeah.
an R lineup. You know,
Well,
the
and the
Telluride's
battery
more.
you talked about.
Oh,
the
that's
batteries
the
are
scary
so
part.
expensive.
15, 20, 30 grand, 40 grand.
They're trying to make him like real futuristic.
That I don't like.
Just
Yeah.
make a regular-looking car.
Yeah, that's the part that
But it's
Yeah.
part of that
Not
because
appealing.
the people that are buying it want to kind of say, I'm driving an electric
futuristic
car.
looking. Yeah, I think part
You
of
know,
it's
to-
that.
If I'm going
Yeah.
to pay this much money,
You
I
better
want
know.
you to know.
That's
yeah.
right. That's what I think some of it is.
But I think it's phasing out from everything you read and
I think
talk
so,
about.
too.
I think it's hopefully going to go
Well,
away.
it's indeed idea, but it's not as practical for everything.
That's
for
exactly right.
commutes in a city
Yep.
Great.
and all that, terrific. But more, especially in the Midwest, we want to get up and go,
Yeah.
and it makes it a little more
My
difficult.
daughter's boyfriend bought an EV9. They can't get to Chicago
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
stopping.
That's-
It's crazy.
that's
That is
wild.
crazy.
You know,
That's
it's just not good.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
What about your pre-owned? Lots
Oh
of,
God, I need cars. No,
You
I mean
do.
we are selling. I was asking Jace today. So it takes us from we get a car in on the lot. We get it in and out within 6 days. We're selling them within 9 days.
What?
They're just turning and burning. Yeah, I don't know. It's right now. It's just going. Yeah, we need cars, and we're trading them in because we're having. This will be one of our better months of the year. This month, but we need cars.
Have you shipped that K4 out that you got 2 weeks ago?
Maybe. Yes, we
Brent,
saw. Yeah, we
you
did.
already
It's gone.
sold it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got another one in from a trade in like
Wow.
Somebody said what pre-owned Kias compete with like a Jeep Cherokee.
that. Yeah. The Sportage.
Yeah.
Sorrento does. You know, the Telluride kind of does too.
Yeah.
I mean, they all
Yeah.
three do, depending on what you want to
Hey,
spend.
you've got a Telluride on the floor, and
yeah.
it's jacked up, and it's
That's a
got
Sorrento.
No, that's,
Oh, that's a
Sorrento.
Sorrento.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, that was everybody
tan
loves it.
one?
Yeah. Well, the tan
No,
one's
the tan one's a
but it's
Telluride.
not jacked up. That's standard.
It helps.
Oh, that's standard
Yeah.
now?
It helped sell my wife
Did it
on the Sorrento.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was jacked. Well, what you've seen is jacked
That was
up.
Jace, your
He
son,
wanted
that
to do it,
decided
yeah.
to, because you see those. I never even knew it could look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
a good
Got to
look.
sell it now,
Yeah. So you need cars,
Need cars
and you need to sell
desperately.
some electric cars,
please.
and people need to eat some burgers.
And they do, yeah. But you know, I had one of the banks. I'm trying to think who it was. Call me, and they just said we need loans. I mean, they're all looking. They want business, so it's out there. Yeah.
So you can
So
get
everybody's hungry.
decent
Yep.
deals
Yep,
right
you can.
now.
Yep.
You can reach Big D 314-586-1333. 314-586-1333. What are you going to go do today?
I'm going back to work. End of the month, last day of the month. So
Oh.
I'm trying to help them out. Yeah, today's it.
Is that a headache thing?
It's putting everything in the bag. You got to get it all. At service, you got to close out every ticket. You got to just get it all done.
Every month at the end of the month.
Mhm. Whatever's left, you got to finish it out.
Yuck.
Yeah, so that's a
Ooh.
lot. And they'll be there till 8 or 9 doing that, and then sales.
It's not
will be
all fun
open.
and games.
It's not all fun and games.
And that's why Darren owns his own
It's-
business and we do
right.
not. Thanks, Big D.
See ya.
She'll expose you when she snows you. Off your feet with the crumbs she throws you. She's ferocious and she knows just what it takes.
Every day another adventure. Our greatest discoveries come when we stop searching. Beneath the endless sky, away from the stress of work, the answer to the ancient Zen mystery. The sound of one hand clapping. Take a trip in an RV from Byerly in Eureka.
For the rest of your life, you gotta be there. Byerly RV.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Dan Lang with Carter Pet Hospital, inviting you to join me every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. with the Animal Advice Show. We'll talk about everything regarding dogs, cats, and other domestic animals. We'll discuss nutrition, training, regular checkups, invite special guests, and of course, answer your questions. Join us every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. for the Animal Advice Show on the Big 550 KTRS, the Animal Talk of St. Louis.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Hardcastle, host of Money Talk. Join me and all of our Money Talkers for our June 2027 French Riviera Money Talk vacation. 9 days, unpack one time, balmy beaches, coastal resorts, chic boutiques, captivating museums, and much more. And if you book early, under $5,000 for brochure and information, call our Delta office, 636-532-0484. The French Riviera, I'm Bob Hardcastle.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
Hey, this is local guy John Goodman, and I am so proud to be involved with a locally owned and operated radio station right here in St. Louis. Happy 30th anniversary to my favorite hometown radio station, the Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 8 minutes before 5 o'clock. Let's check back in with Captain Paul. How's traffic?
Heidi, we have 2 active accidents. A crash on 70 East before 141 is blocking the center lanes with the stop and go back up to the Blanchette Bridge. There's a crash on 170 South at Delmar with the stop and go jam back to Olive. 44 West is heavy from 270 to 141. 270 East is congested from Lilac to near Illinois Route 3. 270 South is crowded in both directions between 64 and Manchester. 64 West is heavy from Tower Grove to Big Bend. 64 East bogs down at 170. And in Illinois, 64 East is busy from 111 to 255. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, it's tax season. Well, Josh, tax season's over. No, this is where you actually get an opportunity to take a look at your taxes from last year and hand them to Jeff Zufall, Capital Advisory Group, and say, Jeff, how can we make next year even better? I'll tell you an anecdote. We started doing the show in June, like 5 years ago, and he told me about this thing that you could do with Finn's school and dependent daycare. Well, we started it up in July, saw how much money we made on 6 months, and I said, Jeff, I wish we would have done the whole year this way. And he said, guess what? You can do this year the whole year that way. If you wait until June, July, August to start some of these tax savings programs, then you're only going to get 4, 5, 6 months worth. Do the whole year and then do the next year and the year after that. And then they'll change the tax code. And then Jeff will give you some other ideas to do. So give Jeff a call now. This is when you actually keep more of your money. 636-394-5524 is the phone number. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com is the website.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
Hey, turn the music down for 1 second. Listen, that annoying sound is probably nothing, right? That's how expensive repairs start. JJ Weatherholt here. In baseball, ignore the signs and you'll pay for it fast. Same with your car, because breakdowns don't wait until you're ready. That's why there's CarShield. They can help cover the cost of expensive repairs. When something goes wrong, you've got a plan before you're on the shoulder with your hazards on.
Don't get caught looking. Get a free quote today at carshield.com. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Hi, I'm Mayor Tim Lowry with the City of Florissant. Coming up May 1st through the 3rd is the Valley Flowers Festival, a beloved tradition in the City of Florissant. This year, in partnership with the City of Florissant, the Valley Flowers Committee, the Knights of Columbus, and several local non-for-profit organizations, we're excited to announce that all festival activities will continue to take place at the Duchesne Home Association. This year's theme is Route 66, 100 Years of America's Main Street. For 100 years, Route 66 has been more than just a road. It's been a symbol of adventure, connection, and American spirit. Join us as we reminisce and celebrate the ways it has helped us connect. As always, we're excited for the Grand Parade and Queen Crowning on Sunday. We can't wait to see you and your family. We are Florissant Strong. For more information, go to www.florissantValleyFlowers.com.
Can I get serious for a moment? Something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is my front yard and taking care of your front yard. Because when you drive by someone's house and it's full of weeds, you think to yourself, oh man, it's very, very simple. You know how much I love to pretend to be a yard dork. You know what I use? Fertilome. I go to fertilome.com and I type in my zip code, and a whole host of local independent lawn and garden dealers show up. I buy the crabgrass preventer plus lawn food. It's the spring application. I get it down on my yard as soon as possible, and that greens up my yard and keeps the weeds away. So it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. But really, all I'm doing is getting Fertilome and putting it on my front yard. And that will take care of my yard for many, many, many weeks, and it go a long way to having the greenest yard in the block. So this spring, you want to green up your yard and get rid of the weeds? It all starts at Fertilome or fertilome.com.
Bope Chapel in Kirkwood has been providing compassionate and professional funeral and cremation services to the St. Louis community for over 114 years. Bope Chapel continues to strive to bring you, their friends, families, and neighbors, the best in comfort and support. Whether it's large services with state-of-the-art technology or small gatherings, the kind and caring family at Bope Chapel will help care for your family in your time of need. For more information, go to bopechapel.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
Well, back in the day on this date, April 30th, 223 years ago, 1803, France sold the United States all the land from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains, the massive real estate deal, obviously known as the Louisiana Purchase. Cost $15 million, about 4 cents an acre. What a deal. 1992, on this date, 34 years ago, the final episode of The Cosby Show aired after 8 seasons on NBC. 44 million people watched that. Speaking of TV, On this date in 1997, the coming out episode of the Ellen DeGeneres sitcom Ellen aired on ABC. Back in the day, on this date, April 30th.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. The one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
30 years going strong. We are live, local and locally owned. This is the Big 550, KTRS St. Louis.
Michelle Franzen. After 76 days of the partial government shutdown, House Republicans narrowly passed the Senate-backed DHS funding bill, and it's now been signed by President Trump.
After weeks of inaction, the longest federal agency funding lapse in history ended in mere seconds without a roll call.
All those in favor say aye.
By a voice vote, the House cleared a bill the Senate passed more than a month ago, funding all aspects of the Department of Homeland Security except for immigration enforcement. That will be dealt with separately using the reconciliation process that Democrats can't block with a Senate filibuster. It could see tens of billions more dollars going to ICE and the Border Patrol. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
The Iran war entering its third month and peace talks remain stalled. Secretary Pete Hegseth testifying for a second day, firing back at criticism over the war in an exchange with Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand today.
I disagree with your assessment that we are under threat.
Do you not believe them when they say death to America?
Listen, our adversaries use rhetoric all the time. What I'm concerned about is we are not safer, and I would just like to know why you have not sought the support of the American people, and 3 out of 5 Americans are against this war today.
Crude prices and gas prices rising to levels not seen in 4 years. Jessima Eklar is a driver in Los Angeles and reassessing her budget.
Well, I have to cut back in another way to ensure that I can drive.
California refinery costs pushing prices at the pump even higher than the national average of $4.31. At a hearing today, a judge ordered suspect Cole Allen in the attempted attack of President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner to be held in detention. The Secret Service director in a Fox interview today says all evidence shows that he has seen that the suspect allegedly shot a Secret Service officer at, quote, point blank range with a shotgun, and he also says the officer was wearing a bulletproof vest and fired back. You're listening to ABC News.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
66 degrees at 5:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. Missouri Congresswoman Ann Wagner has introduced the Local Law Enforcement Support Act, which she says will give state and local police departments greater flexibility to use their funding in areas including training and recruitment, protective equipment, and the expansion of forensic technologies. Joe Patterson, the executive director of the St. Louis County Police Association, says he supports the act and it will allow police agencies to meet the needs of officers and the people they serve. Meanwhile, First Alert 4 recently toured the St. Louis City Justice Center and interviewed Jail Commissioner Nate Hayward about a number of issues, including the facility's cleanliness and the treatment of detainees by employees.
CJC has a past history, and I understand that, but I just ask people just to give us a chance to try to fix the past.
Hayward told First Alert 4 that he has accomplished several things since being appointed jail commissioner last year, including requiring staff to wear body cameras, and that he has reduced the shortage of correction officers from 85 to 40. A prosecutor is asking for the June 1st trial of a man accused of severely injuring a Ferguson police officer to be postponed. Officer Travis Brown suffered a traumatic brain injury after allegedly being assaulted by Elijah Gant during a 2024 protest on the 10th anniversary of the death of Michael Brown. Officer Brown returned home in March after spending time in hospitals and rehabilitation facilities since the attack. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Ashley Bailey Smith claims that prosecutors didn't get some important information until Brown returned home, and they are now in the process of reviewing medical records. The anti-violence program Save Lives Now is expanding to the Metro East.
The Save Lives Now initiative trains community members to help prevent violence. The program uses a mix of deterrence, street outreach, and cognitive behavioral therapy. The program launched last year in St. Louis City and St. Louis County, with leaders there citing success with the program. Save Lives Now is set to begin in St. Clair County later this year. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
And a book fair this weekend at the National Museum of Transportation in Kirkwood will feature a variety of coffee table books, all available for $7 each. It will run from noon until 4 on Friday and 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Saturday, with proceeds benefiting the museum's library and archives. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A multi-million-dollar makeover is planned for a major landmark in downtown St. Louis. Midas Hospitality has announced that an $81 million renovation is planned for the Edison Brothers building. Those renovations include improvements to the hotel and public spaces, new street-level amenities, and the restoration of the building's mural. Now the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk and Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. At close, the Dow up 790 points at 49,651. NASDAQ up 219 at 24,892. And the S&P 500 up 73 at 7,209. And now for KTRS Sports and Traffic, let's check in with Paul.
Steve, the Cardinals completed a 4-game sweep of the Pirates with a 10-5 win in Pittsburgh today. 5 Redbirds had multi-hit games as they banged out 14 hits. Jordan Walker and Alec Burleson each drove in 3 runs. And the Battlehawks on the road for the 3rd straight week with a trip to Louisville tonight. It also marks the first time this season St. Louis will be playing on just 3 days rest. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. 170 South is closed at Delmar due to an accident with traffic jammed back to Page. A crash on 70 East before 141 is blocking the center lanes with a stop and go back up to the Blanchette Bridge. 44 West is heavy from 270 to 141. 270 East congested from Bell Fountain to near Illinois Route 3. 270 South is crowded from 64 to Manchester. 64 West heavy from Tower Grove to McCausland, also from 170 to Spady. And in Illinois, 64 East is busy from 111 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rockwood School District. Are you looking for a new part-time or full-time job opportunity? Consider Rockwood School District with openings for custodians, cafeteria workers, and groundskeepers. With great benefits, competitive pay, and flexible hours. Apply online at rsdmo.org/jobs. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our forecast calls for a 40% chance for rain tonight, an overnight low in the mid-40s. Sunny tomorrow with an afternoon high near 64. At 8 minutes past 5 o'clock, mostly cloudy, 66 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Outstanding, meticulous, friendly, professional, trustworthy. These are the words from actual customer reviews used to describe Morelli tuck pointing. John Morelli and his family have been providing the very best in tuck pointing in St. Louis for 35 years. Morelli repairs chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations, entire homes, anything to do with brick or stone. Morelli. If you need a tuck pointer, you need Morelli. 314-645-1387 or online, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The Supreme Court struck down part of the Voting Rights Act, but what exactly does that mean? Well, as you know, we always turn to our friend KTRS legal analyst and SLU constitutional law professor, Mr. Greg Willard. So good to have you with us again.
Heidi, great to be with you, as always.
So this act, the Voting Rights Act, was signed into law August 6, 1965 by President Lyndon Johnson. It outlawed the discriminatory voting practices adopted in many southern states after the Civil War, including literacy tests as a prerequisite for voting. What did the Supreme Court do yesterday?
What the Supreme Court did yesterday was, in terms of the Richter scale, 10, the earth ceases to exist. It was about a 7.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little higher than a 7. It upended what had been widely understood and accepted in terms of our nation's sordid history with the voting rights of our fellow citizens of color. Quickly, to just set the historical context. In 1789, when we launched this constitutional republic, to vote in America, you had to be white, you had to be a male, and you had to own property. As we continued with this experiment into the mid-1800s, after the Civil War, Congress passed and the states ratified the 15th Amendment, which on its face, we can go back to first grade civics class, that the 15th Amendment prohibited discrimination and abridging the right to vote on the basis of race. Well, guess what? That didn't work out too well. So over a century later, the Congress had to step in to give some teeth to the 15th Amendment and to give some protection to the voting rights of our fellow citizens of color. And Congress passed the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and it was subsequently expanded in 1982. That's the sad historical context, and that's the stark legal context in which this case arose yesterday. Our friends and neighbors down in the state of Louisiana, they have 6 congressional districts. The Louisiana state legislature has carved out 2 of those districts as so-called black congressional districts, black majority districts. Yesterday, and until yesterday, everyone had assumed that was okay. because of why the 15th Amendment was enacted and why we had the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And so we've had thousands and thousands of legislative, congressional, state Senate districts, which are on the books today, Heidi. They are so-called majority-minority districts. Yesterday, by a vote of 6-2, the Supreme Court ruled that the one of the black districts in Louisiana under the 15th Amendment and under the Voting Rights Act was and is unconstitutional, because the court ruled 6-3 that our Constitution and the laws like the Voting Rights Act must be colorblind. And when the sole purpose of creating in this case, a congressional district, when the sole intent is to do that on the basis of race, absent a compelling reason, which there is never one, that district created on the basis of race is unconstitutional. And the Supreme Court yesterday, Heidi, by a vote of 6-3, struck down the action of the Louisiana legislature to create that district.
Professor, it's pretty obvious why the Constitution, the changes over the years with President Johnson, and then in the 80s, as you said, is there anywhere a concern moving forward? Not the past. The past is pretty clear, as you point out, but moving forward, that we would assume that any demographic group is going to vote the same way?
Terrific point, Bob. And it arises in sort of two contexts. We have the historical context, which I talked about.
Which is horrible, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's just the sordid chapter in our history books. The second is, and you three and our listeners have heard me rail about this before, but we have this thing in America called gerrymandering, and it is a bipartisan ill.
Yeah,
the Democrats do it in California and New York, and the Republicans do it in Missouri and Texas. It is a scourge. Now, what we're facing, and to your question and going forward, Apollo 13, Houston, we have a problem. We now have hooked at the hip both of these dark chapters in American history.
Yeah.
Discrimination at the ballot, the franchise for our fellow citizens of color, and gerrymandering. What we are now left with is we're left with a political or a constitutional landscape, rather, where the Supreme Court has said political gerrymanders are okay. And I think in 2019, they basically said, that's a fight for the Congress and the president and the state legislatures and not for the federal courts. Translation, political gerrymandering is okay. Well, let's bring on the air with us my 2-year-old granddaughter, Gianna Willard, and she will explain that what we are going to see, and it already started last night, and what this case rested on was these states will say, oh, no. We didn't gerrymander these districts on the basis of race. We gerrymandered these districts on the basis of politics and partisanship. And we put a bunch of Democrats over in this district so it would free up us having more Republican districts over here. And the fact that, that adversely affected our fellow citizens of color, tough luck.
Yeah.
That was not our motive. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nod, nod. Our motive was pure partisan politics. Well, I was born at night and not last night, and I don't think every one of the gerrymandering exercises going forward by both parties, Bob, is going to be 100% based on partisan politics and 0% based on prejudicial animus towards our fellow citizens of color. Count me in the box that says skeptical.
Yeah, and it almost feels like, and no disrespect to the Supreme Court, which we all do truly respect, but it almost sounds like they did a little bit of a Pontius Pilate, made a move on the obvious racial thing, and then knowingly let the other part go.
Well, you had a lot of brethren last night on cable news, Bob, with that very point, is that a lot of the critics of this decision, and including the three justices who dissented, my words, not theirs, that there's this sense of, well, you're sitting up there in the ivory tower across the street from Capitol Hill, and you're suddenly making a decision with blinders on that has a world time view of about 48 hours. And what the critics are saying is, when you look at the context back to 1789, Larry the Cable Guy is going to look at this and say, that ain't right.
Yeah.
What you've done.
So
it's hard to match, Bob, the reality of our history and what we ended up with yesterday morning at about 9 o'clock our time.
Gerrymandering on the basis of anything to us, and we've been talking about this since Texas did their thing, and now California is doing it, and Virginia's doing it, and Florida's doing it. It sounds like Louisiana is about to do it. Gerrymandering on the basis of anything sounds ridiculous, and frankly, I'm going to say it. Clearly, the politicians are saying we can't win elections
without it.
Yeah. We can't win elections based on our record, so we got to cheat. And it just...
Well, I'm glad you used the word cheat, because I can, I could sit here for 24 hours and rail against gerrymandering, and I'd still need more airtime from you three. But but quickly, just for those of our listeners who have not had to suffer with my tirades before, take a hypothetical state that has 100 residents, and 50 are Democrats, and 50 are Republican, and there are 4 districts. What these computers today, the political computers, campaign computers, can do is they can what's called cracking and packing. And they will take the 50% of the Democrats, and they will pack a whole bunch of them into one district, and then they will crack and spread those among the other 3 districts. And guess what? In a 50-50 pure state with 4 representatives, that next year, that state will send 3 representatives of one party and 1 representative of other. And that's exactly what you were just talking about in terms of cheating. It's 50-50, but gerrymandering suddenly makes it 75-25. Dare I step on the toes of any of our fellow citizens in Missouri, particularly those down in Jefferson City? We are about to land upon in Missouri a congressional delegation with 6 Republicans and 1 Democrat. Now, I don't know how to spell demographer, much less explain what it is, but something tells me in the world of demographers and political science people, they look at Missouri and say, that's interesting. Missouri is not a 6-1 Republican state.
Right.
But that's what gerrymandering does. And again, to be clear, I'm not railing against the Republicans. Go look at what those yahoos in California are doing on the other side of the aisle.
So what do we do to fix it? How do we get rid of gerrymandering?
Well, sadly, Heidi, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer on a Thursday afternoon, but sadly, We've had gerrymandering back before 1789.
Wow.
This is not a new phenomenon since the Apple computer was invented. We have had this scourge, but what has happened with the advent of computers and political computing, you can go down to North Carolina and they've got a district down there that there's a whole bunch of people, and then you see this weird line that goes for about 70 miles. Well, guess what? One side of the highway and the other side of the highway, they are the boundaries of that district, and it goes down for about 70 miles, and then if I'm lying, I'm dying. And then it picks up another group of whatever the packing and cracking they were trying to accomplish. So what's happened, Heidi, to your question as to how to get rid of it, it's like having a bad hangnail. Good luck.
Yeah.
Because we've had it, and now you see it's being supercharged with these computers, and then based upon what we saw and heard yesterday from the Supreme Court, sadly, it is going to adversely affect our fellow American citizens of color. And I don't care what your political persuasion is, Republican, Democrat, Independent, I don't care. That effect of sadly returning some level of discrimination to our fellow citizens of color, that's a sad day in America. I'm sorry.
Yes, it is. We're so honored to have you for a few minutes. Before we let you go, after the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, is this proof that we need a ballroom?
President Trump has said before the incident last Saturday that, yes, we need a ballroom, and he set out, and as we all know, he leveled the east wing of the White House.
Mm-hmm.
It's now been halted, but started to build this, some say monstrosity, others say this wonderfully huge ballroom. He proclaims, and he has said it again, that it's going to be the greatest ballroom in America, and it can hold 999 people. Not my words. Those are the words of the President of the United States, Donald Trump. 999 people. Okay, so I guess that's a big ballroom. And he said then over the weekend, in light of what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, at the Washington Hilton, this just shows why we have to have the White House ballroom that I'm demanding. Come on, everybody, get off your backsides and give me my White House ballroom. Well, I'll just leave this factoid with our listeners. The plans that the president has submitted for the ballroom are such that it will hold 999 people. The White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night, and for years and years and years before, has in attendance, wait for it, 2,500 people. Now, last time I checked, getting 2,500 people into a ballroom that seats 999, it either doesn't work or there's going to be a lot of skinny guests there. I'll just leave that. I'll leave that for our wonderful listeners to sort through. I don't take a position on the air, but I wanted to leave that factoid with our
Greg,
listeners.
You could sit on my lap.
Salad and water for everybody.
Yeah. That is
Well,
such a great thought.
And Heidi could be on my shoulders, and we'll just have a great evening.
That is hilarious and a great way to leave it. Greg Willard, we appreciate your insight so much. Thank you.
All right. Look forward to seeing you. Stay safe.
Can I get serious for a moment? Something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is my front yard and taking care of your front yard. Because when you drive by someone's house and it's full of weeds, you think to yourself, oh man, it's very, very simple. You know how much I love to pretend to be a yard dork. You know what I use? Fertilome. I go to fertilome.com and I type in my zip code, and a whole host of local independent lawn and garden dealers show up. I buy the crabgrass preventer plus lawn food. It's the spring application. I get it down on my yard as soon as possible, and that greens up my yard and keeps the weeds away. So it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. But really, all I'm doing is getting Fertilome and putting it on my front yard. And that will take care of my yard for many, many, many weeks, and it go a long way to having the greenest yard in the block. So this spring, you want to green up your yard and get rid of the weeds? It all starts at Fertilome or fertilome.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. You know how spring works in St. Louis. One week you're running the furnace, the next week you're flipping on the air conditioner. It's weather whiplash, and your HVAC system feels it too. That's why spring is the perfect time to have the experts at Premier Heating and Cooling check things out. Their technicians go through 5 years of training well beyond industry standards. So when they perform a tune-up, they're making sure your system is running safely, efficiently, and ready for whatever the next St. Louis weather swing brings. If your furnace or air conditioner is older or starting to struggle, Premier can help with that too. They offer financing options that make replacing your system far more manageable, and a new unit can mean better comfort and lower energy bills all year long. So whether it's a quick tune-up or time for an upgrade, call the team that knows how to handle St. Louis weather. 636-916-1122, premierheatingcooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Heard a great story about the window store the other day. Larry Thornton, the owner of the window store, 314-739-0002 or wswindow.net, told me a story. He had a customer call him up and say that he wanted to replace his white vinyl windows with darker windows. And so, of course, Larry took care of him. So now they're all darker and sort of brown in color. It looks beautiful. They're energy efficient. There was no upselling. They're great quality windows, and Larry Thornton and the window store took care of him. That's what he does. The price is extremely reasonable, better than the national companies because there aren't the layers of middle management. The window store has been around for 38 plus years. Proud sponsor here at the Big 550 KTRS. Windows, and don't forget about doors. Doors can get really expensive real fast. That's why you want to go with a company you can trust. Installation, price, selection, quality. The window store. Window store. wswindow.net. 314-739-0002, wswindow.net.
Is your job just a job, and you want to work in a rewarding career? If the answer is yes, then start your journey today by becoming a union construction craft laborer. Why wait? Visit buildunion.com to learn more about becoming a union craft laborer and starting a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build a career, build a future, build a legacy. BuildUnion.com for more information.
Looking for a car? Looking for a pre-owned car? Looking for a new Chevy? Looking for a truck? You found it at Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. Londoff's been selling cars here in St. Louis for 80 plus years. He's got 2 locations, the Washington Elizabeth exit, and of course Highway 70 and Highway 79, the Autoplex. They've got great SUVs, whether it's Suburbans or Tahoes or great economy cars. They've always got great financing deals, and for service, it's always service with a smile. Johnny Londoff. Find your next car at Johnny Londoff or Londoff.com.
Stay connected with the Big 550 KTRS, streaming 24/7 online at KTRS.com or on the KTRS app. Powered by JBL Financial. Stream Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Take a look at the roadways, I should say, Captain Paul Kopsky. How are the cars doing out there?
Well, Josh, we have some good news for 170 drivers. 170 South is open again at Delmar after it was completely closed due to an accident. Traffic is still congested back to Page, but it is thinning out. There's an accident on 141 South at Ladue Road. 170 North is heavy from 64 to Delmar. 270 East is congested from Belfast Fountain to the Chain of Rocks Bridge. 270 South crowded from 64 to 44. 64 West is heavy from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker. And in Illinois, 64 East is busy from 255 to 157. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
It looks like Spirit Airlines could liquidate in days, maybe not weeks, without a bailout. Clara McMichael, ABC News transportation reporter in New York, joins us with the latest. And at one point, weren't we talking about the government even buying the airline?
Yeah, hey, that's right. So they could, as you said, run out of cash and liquidate unless this government bailout comes through. So these discussions are ongoing. They're looking at a possible bailout of the tune of up to $500 million. This would also let the federal government take a 90% stake in the company. And one big fan of this deal is actually President Trump. He says they'd be getting Spirit Airlines debt-free. They have good planes, good assets. And then when the price of oil goes down, if it ever does, which we hope, then they'd sell the airline for a profit. But, of course, this has met with stiff opposition from the airline's bondholders who, if the government buys the airline, they might not get as much of a financial benefit. Politicians don't like it, and the other airlines aren't enthusiastic about it either. So there's a lot up in the air right now, and we are going to have to see how this all plays out.
Has the government ever stepped in and bought another company like this before?
Well, this would be really uncharted territory.
Okay.
We just don't know what it would look like if they were to buy an airline. And, of course, Spirit's not the only airline in trouble right now with these high fuel prices. It's certainly the worst off, but these other budget airlines also met with the Trump administration asking for $2.5 billion in relief. So industry-wide, everybody's going through a tough time in the airline business. But, yeah, as you asked, the government stepping in to buy a specific airline, yeah, uncharted. We do not know what that would look like.
So I'm trying to remember back, and I'm thinking Chrysler? No, I can't remember. But didn't the government bail out some help?
GM, General Motors.
Maybe bail out a while ago. Now, did that all work out? I know it was controversy at the time, and I wish I remembered. I think it feels like a dangerous game for the government to be playing, right?
And I'm wondering, too, what's the difference in a bailout and a buyout?
These are some great questions. Yes, the auto industry certainly got a bailout a few years ago, but not the same thing as the government taking part of a
ownership.
company.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And
we also get the question, will this need congressional approval? Of course, if they're spending a bunch of money on this, you think it would, but the Trump administration may be looking at ways around that as well.
So I'm having a little trouble with this because how long have you been covering the airlines? Just during COVID, Southwest, American, they all asked for bailouts. Did they not prepare for a rainy day? Haven't we been here before? If I come up short because of gas prices, they're not going to return my phone call.
Right. The airlines definitely do prepare for, they call them acts of God, right? Like a war in Iran, shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. They prepare for about one of these per year. And that could be like a bad winter storm, but something on this scale, it really is just unprecedented. And the budget airlines are the ones suffering, but the bigger airlines, they're all seeing it. And in the past, few weeks, few months, we've seen them, they're paying a ton of money for this extra fuel. They've cut back routes to try to save some money, to, condense passengers on some flights. The airlines are really pulling out all the stops to figure out how to solve this issue. And, very likely it could get worse before it gets better, right? In Europe, they're talking about jet fuel shortages that could be coming up in the next few weeks.
So crazy. Claire, let's take Congress out of it for a second. Is this a good business decision? What do the professionals there say?
Well, the airlines is kind of like hot potato, right? Like nobody wants to save Spirit Airlines, but if the airlines did go under, certainly the other guys would come in and try to buy up some parts, right? But, let's go back to the passengers for a minute, the people who would be really impacted by this. If a budget airline goes under, even if you're not a person who flies with Spirit all the time or ever, you'll still be impacted, because if a budget airline leaves the market, that takes away competition. And so all those other prices go up across the board. So it's important for everyone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Claire McMichael, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and kind of walking us through something that I think has been very confusing.
Agree. Thanks for having me.
Well, I tell you who doesn't need a government bailout, and that's Dogtown Pizza. They are rocking and rolling, and they have so much going on, even behind the scenes, and different. They're in every grocery store in town. They're in other markets now. I see them down in Gulf Shores when I go on vacation to Alabama. They're in Texas. We had them in studio. They told us a bunch of fun things off the air. Too much to even list, but I'll just remind you, 12 different varieties currently in the case right now. So you go to your local grocery store and you can say, I want this on Monday, I want that on Tuesday, we'll do this Wednesday and that on Thursday, and then you can go through almost 2 full weeks of Dogtown Pizza and not double up on a flavor. It is Dogtown Pizza. You can find every variety at dogtownpizza.com, and you can find them at every local grocery store in town.
Great story about Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. One of the wives called up and said, hey, we need an electrician, call Michael Baldy. And the husband said, no, I can do it. Well, the wife overrode the husband, called up Michael Baldy at 314-968-9999. Maybe she checked the website first, baldyelectric.com. So Michael Baldy came out to the house. While he was at the house, the husband says, well, since you're here, I've got 3 or 4 other jobs for you. It turned out to be an all-day affair. They took care of everything. And so, no, the husband couldn't get it done. Good thing the wife called Baldy Electric, and now the whole house is fixed because of one simple phone call to Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. Indoor, outdoor, brand new commercial building, an old Victorian home, it doesn't matter. Michael Baldy and his team of electricians will take care of you. 314-968-9999, Baldy Electric, or baldyelectric.com.
Are you ready for tax season? A new administration in Washington guarantees there are changes to the tax law coming. Don't let changes to the tax code catch you off guard. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the #1 best-selling book on taxes, Keep What's Yours, and the soon-to-be-released book, Keeping What's Yours, the Strategic Tax Planning Guide for the One Big Beautiful Bill. For 50 years, our team has helped hundreds of area businesses get their financial plans in order, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax laws. To learn more, give us a call at 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
You don't see this every day. Auto House BMW is celebrating 60 years, and right now you can get a new BMW X3 with just 0.9% financing for 60 months, or lease a new BMW 3 Series starting at just $499 a month. Experience it for yourself at Auto House BMW.
Spring is here. Time to think of baseball, Easter, flowers blooming, fresh mowed grass. Think about making the trip to Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant part of your weekly plan. Whether an early breakfast, midday lunch, a homestyle dinner, or a late night bite to eat, Gingham's is your home away from home 24 hours a day. Spring into spring at Gingham's Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0666 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's do some entertainment news, shall we? Meryl Streep, along with her co-stars Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci, spoke to the Today Show cast yesterday.
I saw that. It was really fun.
And Meryl revealed that a bold but worthy negotiation move got her into The Devil Wears Prada. She said, I read the script, the original one, and it was great. They called me up, they made an offer, and I said, nope, not going to do it. She then explained, I knew it was going to be a hit, and I wanted to see if I doubled my ask. They went right away and said, sure. And she thought, I'm 50, 60 years old. It took me this long to understand I can do that. They needed me. And I was ready to retire. She goes, this is a lesson.
Isn't that great? And the way she handled the first declination of the offer, Jason Bateman calls it, he learned as he became a veteran actor, he calls it sexy indifference. No, I'm not interested. I'm not doing it. And there can be an appeal to that, and it worked for her too.
It did. And you know what? That's probably a lesson for all of us.
Yeah.
All right. Two things. James Austin Johnson, who plays Trump on SNL.
Oh,
yes.
So good.
And he's been on the show once.
Yeah, he was on our show.
He was fantastic.
Oh, that's right.
He is doing a promo for this week's SNL with Olivia Rodrigo, and he dresses up as Miranda.
I haven't seen it. Priestley, yeah.
It's a 2-minute clip. It is so good.
Wow.
It's probably the best thing I've ever seen.
Do you think you can pull it up and we can hear a little piece of it, or is it all about the way she looks or he looks?
I'll try to pull a piece of it up, but
Okay.
it is so good. And they can't air this on TV because it's 2 minutes long.
Right.
It's just for the internet. But it is so good.
All
and
right.
he nails I don't know if it's a Meryl Streep impression. I don't know if it's a
Character impression.
Anna Wintour impression. He nails it.
All right. I want to see and hear it. See if you can find it.
I'll find it.
Have you ever watched a movie and been more captivated by a supporting character?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it happens a lot.
Yes.
So here are a few, and
Okay.
tell me if you guys agree
All
or
right.
not.
Oh, I'm excited about this game.
Han Solo in Star Wars.
To me, he was my favorite guy.
Right?
The whole film.
I think that most people
Yeah.
think that he was kind of the star there.
The Skywalker storyline kind of carried the thing forward, but Solo was the star,
Yeah.
period.
Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
See, to me, when I think of it, I think of him as the star.
Right.
He is the star.
Not,
technically, no.
he's not.
Huh.
But I mean, that's Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs.
He's the star.
No, that's the point, though.
Is that the shortest amount of screen time for an Oscar winner? There's some sort of record he set with that. He's only on screen like 14 minutes.
It's crazy.
Something like that. 16 minutes. Amazing.
Amazing. Lisa in Girl Interrupted, that's the character played by Angelina Jolie, and she ended up winning an Oscar for it.
Star-making performance.
Absolutely. You've got the Joker in The Dark Knight.
There's two roles that every actor would want, assuming they fit the part.
Mm-hmm.
But any Batman movie, play the Joker.
Yeah.
And in any movie about the gunfight at the OK Corral, play Doc Holliday. Those are two roles where the actor can absolutely chew up the scenery and still be great.
Yeah.
So the Joker is absolutely one of those roles. Not just the one movie, but in every Batman movie.
Yeah, so good. And then one more. Emily Blunt in The Devil Wears Prada. Kind of a, it's an ensemble cast,
Yeah.
but she kind of sneaks in there every once in a while.
I think that propelled her career forward without question.
I think so, too. The New York Times put together an unranked list of the 30 greatest living American songwriters. More than 250 music insiders, 6 critics weighed in on who defines, quote, the new American songbook. And so here are some of the names, which I tend to agree with a lot of these. Taylor Swift, Jay-Z, Dolly Parton, Mariah Carey, Carole King, Stevie Wonder, Missy Elliott, Diane Warren, who's written so many hits for other people. And then one of my favorites, Brandy Clark, along with her writing partner, Shane McAnally, and another guy. I think it's kind of fun to stop and look at some of the great songwriters.
I would, I think Willie Nelson fits in that group.
He's on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bob Dylan is on there.
Yeah. Now, how many of these how much do they take in wrote songs for themselves, but for others as well. For instance, you think about somebody like Stevie Nicks, who had a solo career and a great writing career with Fleetwood Mac, but really was writing for herself as opposed to for others. And so that maybe elevates some of those writers.
So true.
Already come out and had an added 10 names to the list because they got so much hate mail.
Is that true?
Yeah. How could you forget Billy Joel? You know, how could you forget X, Y, and Z? I mean, you do a list of 30, you kind of ask for it.
Well, there's no way you can list all of them.
No.
And we're all going to disagree on who is, because you might like a particular style, and I like a particular style as far as that goes.
That's why I think somebody like Jay-Z has had such influence, you know, that I think that's an important addition to that list.
Absolutely. Hey, let's do a couple birthdays.
Birthdays? Okay. This is a favorite day for me, and you'll figure it out right away. Let's start with probably in a current top 5 for me, no question about it, Ana de Armas.
Oh, interesting.
John Wick, Knives Out, No Time to Die, A Bond Girl, Blade Runner 2049, Marilyn Monroe in Blonde.
I mean, she's been around for a long time.
But I think that she's younger than she seems. I'm going to say she's
37.
Well, I was going to say 38.
Bang, got it, Heidi. Yeah. You pushed her into the wind. You pushed her into the wind. She is
she's fantastic.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Another one in my top, when I first saw, was it Batman versus Superman? The first appearance of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Blown away.
Yep.
Blown away. Yeah. Wonder Woman, Fast and Furious, Snow White. I think she's going to start doing more. Again, she kind of backed off a little bit, I think, with her family and stuff.
And I think the Snow White thing, wasn't there a lot of like pushback on it? And
people hated that.
They did. Is she 42?
39.
41. Heidi got them both. I think those are our best 2 birthdays for the day.
All right, I love it.
I'm going to play you James Austin Johnson from SNL as Miranda Priestley.
Yes.
Is that her name? From The Devil Wears Prada.
I need a sketch that takes place at an airport Chili's. I need 40 extras between the ages of 9 and 11 with red hair. And I need Colin Jost on the phone because I haven't been on update. And how many weeks has it been? Why is no one ready?
And he's got the outfit. He's got the hair and
Don't
everything.
you wish you could do an impersonation like that?
And
I'd never talk in my own voice if I could do impressions.
Yeah.
And I said Meryl Streep. Obviously, it's Glenn Close. Am I the only one that gets those two confused?
Wait a minute. It's Meryl Streep.
No, that's Glenn. It's Glenn.
No, it's Meryl Streep.
That's Meryl Streep.
You had it right the first time.
Yeah, your story worked. It was all correct.
Yeah.
I get them confused.
No, Meryl Streep.
And I'm the only one that gets them confused.
Yes.
The 2 leading ladies of our generation.
No, Glenn Close has had a really good career, but
she's not Meryl Streep.
She's not Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is arguably the finest female film actor of all time.
Most nominated.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Who killed that rabbit in that
That
movie?
was Glenn Close.
That was Glenn, okay. All right.
Killed that rabbit.
Getting
You mean
closer.
Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. And Glenn Close was great in Damages, if you haven't seen that series. I mean, Glenn Close
she's terrific.
is fantastic,
Yes.
but Meryl Streep,
it's next level.
Yeah, there's nobody that can really touch Meryl Streep.
This is Meryl Streep.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
Now you're on it.
That is your evening entertainment report here on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's Jill Farmer. Medicare is overwhelming. Parts, plans, deadlines. It's a lot. That's why so many of you turn to Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. Ryan breaks Medicare down in plain English, helps you compare options, and make sure you're not overpaying or undercovered. No pressure, no confusion, just clear guidance from someone who actually cares. If you're turning 65, already on Medicare, or helping a parent navigate it all, start with someone you can trust. For the right plan, call a Medicare man. 314-368-6808, MedicareManSTL.com.
Kirkwood Florist has been a family-owned florist and gift shop since 1951. For over 70 years, Kirkwood Florist has been delivering extraordinary floral experiences every day for every event. Kirkwood Florist has an award-winning design team, friendly customer service and logistics staff, and a great gift shop. They offer same-day, fast delivery to most St. Louis areas if in by noon, with fresh flowers, plants, and unique gift items. Kirkwood Florist, family-owned since 1951. KirkwoodFlorist.com.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
Meep, meep.
Last look at the roadways with Captain Paul Kopsky. How are we shaping up?
Josh, there's an accident on 64 West at 141 with a backup all the way to Lindbergh. 270 South is crowded from 64 to Manchester. 64 East bogs down at 170 but opens up at Big Bend. And 64 West is heavy, approaching the 6470 interchange in Lake St. Louis. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, everybody's got a dentist, or do they? If you need a dentist, I've got one for you. I'll tell you who it is in just a minute. I've never switched dentists. And the reason I've never switched dentists is because I've never had to. They've opened up 3 offices now, so they're following me as my life moves around St. Louis. Grew up in Florissant Dental Services. That's still there across from the Fritz's and next to Old Town Donut. STL Mid-County Dental. Well, that's off of Lindbergh, right over by where I work. And now Lake St. Louis Dentistry out in Lake St. Louis. That's out west now that I live in St. Charles County. My entire in-laws and family live out in Lake St. Louis. So they can now move and go to Lake St. Louis Dentistry if they need a new dentist. Or maybe you're starting a family or you just moved here and you're like, well, we need to start over with the dentist. I've never started over, so I don't know why anybody needs to switch. But maybe that is the key here. I haven't had a new dentist my entire life. I'm 44 years old because mine has been just that good. Dr. Landgraf and his dad and his grandpa have been the dental family in our family, and they've been my parents' dentists as well. And now they can be yours, too. Lake St. Louis Dentistry out on Lake St. Louis Boulevard is the newest office location. Dr. Mulla is the full-time dentist out there. LakeStLouisDentistry.com is the website, and you can call him at 636-333-6150.
Hi, I'm Mayor Tim Lowry with the City of Florissant. Coming up May 1st through the 3rd is the Valley Flowers Festival, a beloved tradition in the City of Florissant. This year, in partnership with the City of Florissant, the Valley Flowers Committee, the Knights of Columbus, and several local non-for-profit organizations, we're excited to announce that all festival activities will continue to take place at the Duchesne Home Association. This year's theme is Route 66, 100 Years of America's Main Street. For 100 years, Route 66 has been more than just a road. It's been a symbol of adventure, connection, and American spirit. Join us as we reminisce and celebrate the ways it has helped us connect. As always, we're excited for the Grand Parade and Queen Crowning on Sunday. We can't wait to see you and your family. We are Florissant Strong. For more information, go to www.florissant.valleyflowers.com.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap this show up with a random or two.
Check this out. City birds appear to be more afraid of women than men.
What now?
Well, they've been around.
Scientists
More experience.
aren't sure why. Here's the gist, Heidi. Men can get about 3 feet closer than women before the birds fly away, regardless of height, what they're wearing, or how they approach the creatures. Birds are not as scared of men as they are of women.
Which is weird because you think traditionally throughout history that men are the hunters.
Well, maybe they're just more intimidated. Maybe it's the perfume, and they hear the clicking of the heels.
Maybe
or the beauty.
Yes.
They're intimidated by the beauty.
Either way, I think I'm part bird after this story.
Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that.
Fairly intimidated.
Okay. You guys, thanks for hanging out with us on this Thursday afternoon. Hey, we're out of the studio broadcasting live from the Mexican Barrel House tomorrow. It's in Creve Coeur, right there on North Mason Road. Come by, say hello. If you can't do that, hopefully you'll tune in and be a part of the show starting at 3 o'clock. Until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
It's all right. It's all right. Don't need a salt to drop your flowers. Oh, no. Oh, no.
You know that honeydew list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honeydew list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
Julius Krasanik here, celebrating 54 years in this industry. My family owns Wholesale Siding Depot. That's WSDepot.com. Our seasoned customer service group has over 200 years of combined siding, window, and door experience. My grandson Elijah says,
"Are you kidding me?"
Tired of companies that like to apply pressure to sell you high-priced fiberglass or wood windows? We offer the Anderson Fibrex family of windows in styles and colors, including black, at wholesale prices. What are you waiting for? We sell truckloads of siding, windows, and doors from CertainTeed, Anderson, Viwinco, Provia, and other major brands, all at wholesale prices, while offering a free contractor referral service for your expert installation needs. Keep it local, family, and professional. Visit WSDepot.com. That's WSDepot.com.
This has been the talk of St. Louis for 30 years, and we aren't stopping now. We are the Big 550, KTRS St. Louis. Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Late word this hour of a stabbing spree at a high school in Washington State. Authorities racing to Foss High School in Tacoma around 1:40 this afternoon. The school put on lockdown. Officials say 5 people injured, 4 seriously, including several students and a security guard. Authorities searching the school for additional victims and say a suspect is in custody